Well, hi there. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Good
Hello.
evening.
You're
So,
cutting out on me.
that's fair. It's Discord. So this is a bit of just a kind of catch-all since we're now doing this. I'm just going to give a very brief disclaimer. Then players, as it were, are going to very quickly just introduce the bare minimum about themselves. We're going to give you a bit of a backstory, and then we'll move into actual gameplay. So, very first thing to note is that viewers, please be advised. This show is intended for a mature audience. There are themes that are present here that others may find uncomfortable and do not necessarily represent the views of those running or playing. Yes, that is a massive disclaimer. Yes, that is because I am doing this as a business. But very specifically, World of Darkness is a place full of monsters. Monstrous things will be going on here. I recognize them as monstrous. I'm basically not Howard Lovecraft. I'm not an asshole. And I don't believe in any of what is actually occurring. With that said, it is a World of Darkness. So can I get some levels of introductions from people? So looking at this, I'm going to start from right to left on my screen. We're going to go with Alyssa. Just a quick hello.
Hi there, I'm Alyssa, and I am a Nosferatu with a very extensive, heavy background in the police force.
Elizabeth.
Hi there, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a gangrel with an extensive background in finances and in general looking after businesses.
Nyx.
Hello, I'm Nyx. I'm a Tremere from New York, hence why I sound different from everybody else. I have a background, I have a degree in business management, though sadly I have no experience in that yet, other than what my degree can offer.
Arlo.
Hello, I'm Arlo. I'm a Toreador from Soho, who now has somehow found himself a Chester.
Oscar.
Good evening. I am Oscar Havelock of both the clan and the house of the noble Tremere. I am a proud member of the Camarilla, and I have many talents.
And finally, our newest addition, Diamond.
Hello, I'm Diamond. I'm Toreador, and I've just been for a while.
Okay. What is probably worth mentioning as well for those people who may only be catching this for the first time, everyone other than Oscar is a dirty, dirty Anak.
For shame. For shame.
Well,
Really?
actually, that's kind of fluctuating. We'll get to that. Alyssa, the cliff notes about how we all got into this mess.
Okay, so this is a story of Cheshire by Night, which follows a ragtag coterie that has been flung together under the guise of Lord Camden, the Prince of Edinburgh. We have all been sent to Lord Grosvenor's home, which is Eaton Hall in Cheshire, due to a rise in kin finding out about the kindred in London, such things like the Queen of London being beheaded and Nosferatu neck was hacked, all this sort of stuff. So we were sent over to Eaton Hall, where we are to maintain the Masquerade of Cheshire and also look after one Prince George of the UK, as he happens to be the godson of Lord Grosvenor. Upon arriving at Eaton Hall, we managed to get ourselves together and find out a bit of information about what we had in stock. Stock being a very interesting word there. We ran into several problems whilst being in Cheshire, ranging from dealing with our own hunger frenzies and our beasts coming out and attacking each other. We've also had to deal with getting to know other people, other kindred in the area, like Michael Godson and his coterie. We've also run into a werewolf. And we've also run into some Black Spiral dancers and had to deal with them as well. There's been a lot going on for this poor little coterie. And we've also had an issue with Prince Donald of Manchester, who came and kind of wanted to take over Chester for himself. And he held his own Elysium 3 days before we were due to hold our Elysium. There's been many ups and downs. Characters have been in torpor, characters have been in other situations. And we have recently just held our own Elysium on Eaton Hall grounds. And it didn't exactly go to plan, as usual. And where we left off was with Arlo and Nyx somewhere out there walking into a cave, not knowing where they are or what is leading them down this dark and twisted path.
So, since the events of Elysium, we have had a week's worth of frantic behaviour taking place at Eaton Hall. Alyssa, roughly how long of them being missing does it take for you to start pulling your hair out?
Literally, the next time I wake up.
The next morning you wake up, they are not there.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The minute I notice
So-
they are not back.
Okay. I trust you let Elizabeth know almost instantaneously.
Pretty much.
You and Elizabeth, what is it you do?
First thing, Elizabeth.
Just a very quick 2 lines worth how you're handling this week.
Try GPS, track Carlo's phone, Eyes of the Beast, wolf form tracking.
Okay, so you're basically doing the legwork yourself. Alyssa, 2 sentences this week.
Words fail me. Blood scenting. Searching.
So you're both going out and you're doing it basically by hand, effectively. You're both going off into the woods. You're leaving the hall as unattended.
Well, I mean, technically, when we left off, Jen was still there.
Jen actually had gone home. Well, when you left off, it was still nighttime. But Godson's coterie had left that evening. They aren't staying the night.
Well, in that case, we'll take it in turns.
Well, Caleb's still there.
No, Caleb's not there.
Oh.
Caleb is not currently there.
No, we'll take it in
So-
turns.
Yep.
I will say this shenanigans goes on for like the next 2 days. Before Oscar, you have been residing on the bank balance, effectively, of the Prince Regent of Chester in hotels. However, your request for haven has, as of this point, been left unanswered, despite the fact he did state that he would be getting to it imminently. It's about this point in time where, after a couple of nights, you decide, perhaps, I should go and make myself more known. It's about this point in time when you come across Alyssa at the house, because it's the night where Elizabeth is out. Give us a rough idea, again, without too many details, because we want to speed through this as much as we can, of how that conversation is going to go between the pair of you.
Oscar will be very polite, of course, being one of the Camarilla, and he will also sense that something is wrong and offer his assistance to his fellow kindred of Chester.
Alyssa, how much are you letting Oscar in on the knowledge of what has happened?
I'm basically just letting him know that Arlo and Nyx are missing. But that's it.
But you are letting him know that they are missing, not that they are indisposed.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point in time, Oscar, you are brought into the additional days of the search. What is it that you would do to assist in this search?
How many days do we have?
There is a straight 7 before we come to tonight. So you have 5 since it took you 2 days to get involved.
I will spend 2 days searching and then 3 days researching lupine totem spirits.
I understand.
Yes.
In what order? Are you breaking those up 1 day searching, 1 day research, or are you doing them in blocks?
I'm going to do 1
You
day.
can have the last 2 days of you can have the 2 days where you were in the hotels doing research as well.
It's basically I want to observe the person who I'm interested in actual field work, and then seeing what relates to my research.
I understand. Okay. So basically, you are assisting Alyssa when she goes out, and you are studying Alyssa.
Basically, yes.
Okay. About a day passes, and Caleb manages to make his way back into the house. He doesn't mention where he's been. For the reference, Caleb to Oscar and Diamond is a particularly tall, somewhat muscled out gentleman, wearing some level of combat trousers, big heavy boots. He almost looks like a bruiser, except for the fact he's a lot got a particular sort of refined beard and a mass, and I mean all the way down to the small of his back, wave of red hair. He also carries on his left-hand side an axe. That axe is both silver and inscribed with runes. Oscar,
Yes.
even a day's worth of Lupin research would let you know that those are Guru symbols. It's at this point in time, he has no qualms about being seen. He will just stroll quite happily up to the house. Elizabeth, do you explain the situation to Caleb?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. In explaining the situation to Caleb, Caleb will have a moment to regard Oscar and just sort of, is this one trustworthy? And he's very open about saying that in front of you as well.
Raise an eyebrow and look at my two other kindred.
You recognise social graces are not exactly, a thing for this gentleman. There may be a reason for that. So, trustworthy?
Oh, God damn it.
Too early to tell.
Debatable.
He walks up, the particular person in question walks up to you, Oscar, just gives you a look over, sniffs you, shrugs a little, and then turns into lupine form and dives out the door looking.
This is an interesting development.
For reference, because I do have pictures, I will give you the very basics of Caleb. I will now close that picture down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He transforms into a rather shaggy-looking red wolf and dives out the door, basically trying to pick up any kind of scent. The next day or so is assisted effectively by a werewolf. About 4-ish days, no, 5 days, I'd say, you receive a message, Alyssa, from Godson.
Yep.
He informs you, as I'm assuming you have let him know by now,
Yep.
that he's managed to round up a small list of the people who were at the party, as it were, and who may or may not have seen something. He's gone around for most of himself. However, while Jen is out and looking as well, he has given the address of Eaton Hall to a particular kindred who he knows for a fact was there a little longer than the rest and may have seen something. But if not, might have some level of use. The more boots on the ground and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is with this bare introduction, we turn to Diamond. Can you still currently... Excellent, you can still currently hear it. That's what I like to hear. So, first things first, could you give me the very bare bones description of yourself?
Red hair, up nicely. Pale, shockingly. Blue eyes.
current
Nice
dress sense?
Nice dress. Short.
Fair play. That's a good bare bones description. We'll obviously flesh that out as more time goes, but I know we've not had a lot of time to go through the full nuances.
No, that was very much a catch me on my toes there.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, Diamond, you have been not really pestered, but you have been sort of requested by a few times by one of the local known vampires to make attendance to Eaton Hall to go and see if there's anything you can do to assist in a situation involving the Prince Regent. Given some of your background, some of the things that you go with for it, it took a little bit of persuading, but eventually some backroom deals were made, and you were shown the way to Eaton Hall. Now, for reference, Eaton Hall, I don't actually think I managed to get a picture of, which I'm really kind of stupid on this. Most of my pictures were somewhat mildly corrupted when I started adding new ones. So basically, the way to describe Eaton Hall is as a massive expanse between front gate and the hall itself. The hall is what was basically a sort of... It's changed a few times over the years, but now currently has the stylings of effectively a French chateau. It has a vast amount of expansive gardens. As I said, you've been here before because you attended as part of the All Kindred of Chester May Attend. So as you're basically winding your way around what's basically a giant central set of paths and fountains, you bring yourself to the front door. Large oak, double doors in front of you. You're looking at this night being close to, let's say, 10 p.m. Despite the fact that I'm sure on this date, which is Chronicle Keeper,
Sorry,
2 days before the week.
2 days before what? 2 days before you
Before-
wanted? In that case, it would
Yep.
be where it would be. Bear with me. If you're going to go with 2 days, it would be 31st of June. No,
So,
I lied.
despite
No,
I was about
31st
to
of
say-
August. Not August, May. My God.
the 1st of May,
Well,
May. 31st of May. Friday, the 31st of May.
it's one of those months.
We're there.
Okay, so you are basically, despite it basically being bringing into the proper summer months, you've still got that little bit of darkness around 10, 11-ish.
mm-hmm.
You find yourself at the doors. You get a slight knock, and after a moment, a attending servant, a rather old, elder-looking gentleman, balding head, dressed like a proper butler, greets you at the door. Ah, yes, please. The family of the house are currently in attendance. Please join us. So-
Okay, thank you.
You're brought through the double doors upstairs to what is basically a study. Now, the study itself is a single oak door, a large, expansive carpeted area with a very expensive-looking brown mahogany desk next to a back wall window. There's a slight tint to that window's glass as well, which is leaving everything outside just that little bit duller. You can almost tell that this has been, like, vamp-proofed. Everywhere else is just shelves upon shelves upon shelves upon shelves of books, other than obviously some places to sit, a coffee table, and an open fireplace, which is most definitely not lit. Currently sat within will be Alyssa, Elizabeth, and Oscar. Caleb has basically taken over duties himself. He's basically gone out with Jen. They're going to find they're going to find him tonight. It's starting to get on his nerves, and as people have noticed, whenever Caleb starts to get angry, he starts to get enraged. He's getting frustrated, and a frustrated werewolf is not what anyone wants to be around. Except the Bruiser, because she's a little psycho.
Mm-hmm.
So, quick bit of a description for people as you enter this room. Elizabeth, you can go first, bugger it.
Okay, so Elizabeth is about 5'3". She has long black hair, which she has tied up, is wearing a very, very, very fine tailored suit, has bright green eyes, and is wearing short heels today.
Okay. Oscar, you are probably next closest, being the one that sat on the opposite side of the desk from Alyssa. So, what would you be dressed as, looking like?
Oscar wearing the same outfit last that he was in for Elysium, a black smartly pressed suit, shirt and blazer with a black turtleneck underneath. He's an older gentleman, probably maybe in his early 60s before he was turned. He has slicked back grey hair, a neat little beard. He's got a very pale, kind of old skin with a few little bit of liver spots. He's obviously not seen that much of the light of day, spending so much time in the library, whatnot.
That's fair. And Alyssa, on your side of what is actually, from the look of it, a very broken and beaten up desk. Possibly out of frustration.
Couldn't comment.
What do you look like, Alyssa?
Alyssa is 5'4". She's very leaf in her build, so very thin but with lots of muscle to her. She has her brown hair is currently tied into a fishtail braid. The bottom of her hair is like slightly golden, then it's kind of like brown, and then right up where the roots are, it looks white. She has incredibly green eyes that shift with the light and the shadows, almost like they're moving, and she looks quite fleshy coloured.
Okay.
Now, from your experience of Nosferatu, Diamond, though you do not know she is one, while you have obviously heard she is in terms of the intro, she does not. She looks like a normal human. She looks like a normal human apart from those features.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
as you are basically led up to the door, you can hear Oscar and Alyssa on the other side of it. What was that conversation we were having just before this door got knocked on, guys?
The conversation was most likely probably something along the lines of they've got to be somewhere. They can't just have vanished into thin air. There must be somewhere we haven't checked yet.
Or maybe they don't want to be found.
I highly doubt that.
Vampires disappear all the time. It's not unnatural, and they come back after they've finished their business.
I
The
don't know.
knocking now sounds.
Come in.
The door is opened by the butler, and Diamond is presented. The person of interest that Michael Godson has sent.
Thank you
How
very much.
interesting.
Thank you, Jeeves.
He takes a slight bow, gives Elizabeth that look of, I've told you, my name is Jives multiple times now. Please stop calling me Jeeves, or you will find your blood spiked. He then turns and leaves.
I was just thinking, is he really called G?
You are ushered into the room, Diamond.
It is never wise to insult the person who knows where you sleep. That's a good advice for you there, madam. So who is this new person? Who are you, madam?
I'm Diamond.
A pleasure, Diamond.
How can I help?
We have a situation currently, and Godson suggested that you may be able to help. I was aware that you were at our Elysium a couple of nights ago. We didn't get to speak, but I'm aware you were there.
There were a few people there.
There were a few people there, you are correct. I was kind of hoping perhaps you might have been around when a certain situation did occur.
Which situation would that be?
two of our coterie, mainly our Prince Regent, have disappeared, and the last that I saw them, they were outside. I'm not sure about anyone else, but I was hoping maybe if you were still around, you perhaps saw which way they went.
I believe I understand that he ran off with some lady. Looked like they headed toward the forest to me.
Yes, that would be Nyx. And they ran into the forest. That sounds something like Arlo would do.
Just for reference, Diamond, you do have a rough idea of the specifics of the direction. Obviously, given time, it may or may not have made any difference by now. But you do know potentially the kind of sector in which people can start looking. Also, because of your ability of Auspex, you do have the heightened senses that Godson did not think the party currently had, because he hasn't really had time to sit down and meet Oscar.
Miss Diamond, may I ask you two simple questions before we continue? One, which sex do you belong to? And two, where do you claim domain?
In answer to those questions, if you are you answering him truthfully?
Well,
Diamond?
I was going to say he could have waited for me to agree to answer two questions before he asked them.
I mean, that's fair. Are you intending on answering those questions?
I don't claim domain over anywhere in particular.
That is truthful. Yeah, that's accurate.
And as for sex,
Yes.
do you mean my clan?
No, do you belong to the Camarilla or the Anarch movement?
Or if I were to tell you my clan, wouldn't that answer the question?
No, actually, you get dissidents in everywhere nowadays.
I'm of the anarchists.
Interesting.
But I tend to try and stay out of politics.
Whilst this conversation is, dreadfully enlightening, Oscar, it is not required at the moment. We have more pressing matters to deal with, mainly the missing Prince Regent and Lady Nyx.
Exactly, Miss Alyssa, hence why I'm asking. Having people who are not from the Camarilla search for a prince could be counterproductive and have issues.
And vice versa could be said about having people from the Camarilla.
We always look after our own, Miss Alyssa.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
Was there any reason for them running off that you know of?
A good question.
Well, it may answer the reason as to where they've gone. Or at least...
Yeah, Alyssa, is there a reason?
The Prince Regent and Lady Nyx were engaging in what can only be described as a terrible competition.
A what?
A competition.
What was the competition in question?
Put two and two together, Oscar. He's a Toreador, she's a Tremaine.
Exactly. She is a Tremere. We have better standards of certain things.
I'm going to ignore that dig at what I can only assume it as at Arlo for being a Toreador and move on. The situation is that they possibly ran off after I might have gotten slightly irate over their behaviour.
What was the exact bet or state of this competition?
From what I could see on the stage, they were engaging in a competition of seduction.
With each other? Or trying to seduce each other?
Trying to seduce each other.
Doesn't sound too dangerous.
It is when one of those is a siren and the other is a scene queen, who also hates losing.
It matters not. It is unbecoming for people of their station and status. So the question is, why would their active coitus seeking be required for the woods?
Probably because they wanted to be alone.
And we're going to interrupt them.
Well, if they had walked into the manor and continued as they were, pretty much all of us would have heard it.
Enlightening.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we could quickly just go into this woods, and we shall use our natural gifts to narrow the search down. Because I no longer wish to speak about vampire coitus.
Right, but Oscar, have you forgotten the last few days of us going into the woods and looking for them?
Yes, but now we have a specific area.
You do?
We had a specific area from the start with the GPS signal of Arlo's phone, or what was left of it. That didn't
What
help.
happened to his phone?
There was, right, for reference, there was no signal when you went to track that GPS. It was last seen in completely diffused and not working. It looked like it was in about 15 different locations at once.
Okay.
And some of them weren't in this country.
Well, we kind of.
Did you really believe in this common, times when the humans are hunting us that we'd be able to trace someone's phone so easily?
So it's worth a shot trying the easy things first.
Indeed.
Did see the end to the woods in a particular place?
You would, for reference on that one, Diamond, it was approximately, if I can quickly bring up the Google Maps version that we're looking at. Again, apologies if anyone is watching this at any point later. You're not going to get to see it because I can't properly link Google Maps to this. So, haha.
Use the power of your imagination.
Roleplay.
Basically, it looks from here like the way they went out was as actually even better. You know the map that you gave me of how where all the bits are in Elysium were.
Mm-hmm.
They basically headed out from that map to the northwest, off into the gardens and away.
Let's just have a look. Where is my map? Where is my map? Where is my map? There we go, found the map. So which way did they go, sorry?
They went straight up to the northwest and basically hit whichever woods are closest to that.
Cool. Northwest, got it.
Sorry, northeast, not northwest.
Northeast, got it.
So, that was the rough kind of direction. As this conversation is continuing, there is the sound of what sounds like a set of slamming doors and somebody yelling at somebody else just outside. Something along the lines of, to quote it, "God damn it, you annoying pain in my ass. Could you please just listen to me?"
Sounds like they're back.
There's a scene outside.
Everyone can currently see, what is it, a overly smug-looking, short, blonde Ventry woman heading off into the distance as a red-haired man just kind of looks at it, is wringing his hands. That's a small sigh, lowers his head, turns around, walks back into the house. I'm home.
Well,
That was easy.
Caleb.
I'm going to go and greet Caleb.
Yep.
So,
Let's
Caleb
see what he has to say for himself.
heads upstairs, meets you guys basically in the corridor as you guys are heading downstairs. He kind of just takes a moment, look around. That's a larger crowd than I was expecting. Yeah, no sign.
Which way did you head?
We had just a radial scout out. Pushed it out maybe mile and a half. No signs, no smells, no nothing. Without a direction, I'm not gonna. We're gonna end up checking the whole of the UK at this point.
Well, that seems a little pointless.
He kind of just takes a moment, stops, looks over at Diamond before glance back, Alyssa. Just gestures with a thumb as if, who's this?
This is Diamond, Caleb. Godson recommended her. Thinks she could help us. And at this
He
point,
takes a look at Diamond.
are
you as sassy as the annoying blonde one?
As what?
As the annoying blonde one.
No, the word before that. I got the blonde bit.
Sassy.
Well, seeing as I haven't met the annoying blonde one, I can't really answer that.
But there is definitely a level of sass there, yes?
If we could perhaps stay on target here, please. I'm going to think now, Miss Alyssa, of your particular clan, do you know of any caverns in the forest or any kind of underground sites where there might be that in the woods somewhere where maybe Mr. Caleb could not sense or sniff them out?
I mean, this is Cheshire. There are hundreds of caverns and caves.
Yes, but specifically in the woods area.
The only one I can think of, is the one that joins up to this building.
Caleb just kind of turns ever so slightly to the right in a really slow pan to look at Elizabeth with the, yes, tell everyone about the secret tunnel kind of face.
Oh dear.
He then does a slow pan backwards, sighs a little, and just walks past everyone. Go to bed. I've had enough.
I'm making a note.
Anyway, I'm starting to think we may have to search a bit further afield. It's very obvious that they're not in the immediate vicinity or anywhere on the grounds.
Right. Let's do a logic. If Arlo is running from something, scared, with Nyx, Arlo has the vampire strength to carry Nyx, and Arlo can do his run at stupid level speed with his disciplines.
Correct.
That could put him miles out. We don't have a real idea of how long he can do that for.
Do we know what sorcery Lady Nyx knows? Have you seen her perform any feats of magic?
Actually, no.
No. To be honest with you, I have performed more than her, and that's just by testing people's blood.
You know blood source.
I know some.
Now the question is, Miss Elizabeth, how do you know it? Who taught you it?
That is information I won't be divulging.
It is also information best saved for another time when we are not trying to find the Prince, Regent and Lady Nyx. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Please stop getting sidetracked.
My apologies. Making another note.
I was hoping you would.
Okay, we have a vague idea, thanks to Diamond, that they headed off in the northwest area. So that's a start. It means we can eliminate everywhere else and purely start looking in the northwest area.
Right, let's try and do one of these secret chat things.
I am going to go and look for a map.
Yep.
Specifically, I'm going to go to the archives and I'm going to go and look for maps of the land.
Okay. Very easy enough to come by. There's a significant amount of... there is a significant amount of Ordnance Survey maps and otherwise that are just readily available in and around. Even just asking for 5 minutes, we'll have one brought to you. You are looking for anything in particular?
I am...
Which one?
Yeah.
No, to the maps.
Okay.
In regards to which, on your case, actually, you know what? I will handle yours first, Oscar. You only have Auspex 1, correct?
Yes, sensing scene lets you see like auras of magic that are in effect. So if there's no magic in effect, I won't see anything.
All right, bear with me 2 seconds. Let me be very specific on this to make sure I do not either give a game away or do something else. Sense the unseen. Dormant blood sorcery spells and rituals might also be found with this power at the storyteller's discretion.
Oh no! No! Not the D word!
I currently have none up.
So. No. Okay. There are no blood sorcery currently running across Elizabeth. However, for a very brief second, even under Auspex, there is the look of a face behind Elizabeth. It's a Nosferatu's face, but just as quick as it's there, it's gone.
Is there any black lines in it? Oh, I can't see the aura. No, never mind. Never mind.
Tell that one.
Nope. I am going to keep my Auspex on for the evening, I think.
Yeah, not a problem. On that subject, nothing on Diamond, nothing on Elizabeth. Right, yeah. Give me a second longer, as I've just realised that has actually kicked a little bit of some plot off.
I poked the plot by accident.
Yeah, you did.
I was about to do it on purpose. So.
Weirdly, Alyssa does have what looks like, as you'll kind of glance over her, what looks like an almost blue-looking tattooed, I'd want to say almost crescent moon, somewhere around her temple. It shines ever so slightly to your eyes. But in all your research does not match up anything you have seen.
Thank you.
Anyway, where were we before that? There was the Ordnance Survey map. So, Alyssa, what are you looking for in particular on them?
So on the Ordnance Survey maps, I'm trying to find any caves or tunnels that are northwest of Eaton Hall.
How far out?
As far as possible.
Within your domain or within until you basically get one?
And basically, I'm just going to keep looking. I'm just going to look at the maps and I'm just going to pinpoint all the caves and tunnels I can see within Cheshire.
Okay. Within Cheshire, there are a few. Feel free to Google, in fact.
Already did.
But I will tell you there aren't that many that are at least noted enough to pop and put down. There is one that does have some level of potential for a crack, crevice, or cave, and that would be in Alderley Edge.
Thank you. That's what I wanted.
Yeah. Oh dear.
That's what I thought it was.
But at the same time, that's like 45 miles away.
Yep.
That should have taken like hours or more, maybe like 12 hours worth of walking time.
Yep.
Or a lot less for celerity.
Or something else, just saying.
Or something else. But yes, that is the only recorded cave to the northwest.
That's all I wanted.
But there are every odds that they could have been found other ones, smaller ones. That's if you're looking for somewhere where they could have resided for the night, as opposed to a variety of other things. I mean, for all you know, Arlo's capable of melding with the floor, much like Elizabeth is. I mean, impressive if you could, but still.
Yeah.
And definitely wouldn't have saved Nyx if that was the case.
No. And should be dead.
I mean, he could have gone into any number of houses in any of the villages.
Oh, I'm aware, yeah.
So, what's the plan?
What
I was
time are we
gonna-
on?
It's about 11:30, coming up to 12. What is the general plan for the next 2 days?
I'm gonna say I was gonna go look where I'd last seen the Prince Regent and Nyx and see if it looked different to when I'd last seen it.
Okay.
Follow
That's fair.
Diamond. Be prepared to keep eyes of the beast up while I do, so I can spot anything. And as soon as I've got into the general direction of which she says they ran off in, wolf form and run.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with the Auspex.
All right.
Okay.
So, very first thing that happens then, Diamond and Elizabeth both basically, Elizabeth, you ask to see where Diamond last saw where they were, and Diamond, you take her outside, out towards this rough area. What is Alyssa and Oscar doing? Are you both just letting them do that, or are you studying maps, or...
I'm still studying maps. I'm preparing a list of places that I would think Arlo might go, basically.
Okay. And Oscar?
Oscar doesn't go running around wildly. Oscar will happily sit there and watch Alyssa, curiously.
Okie dokie then. So,
I see you.
That's not creepy
Elizabeth.
at all.
you
That's just
get halfway out to where Diamond is. Diamond, you take a moment to sort of expand your senses and open up Sense the Unseen. The area around you, that doesn't look any different. You can't see anything that indicates beyond what normally happens, people having travelled through here. You imagine, since they have apparently a lupine on the staff, well, you actually don't know that. Since they have enough people on the staff, they would have probably checked over this area. However, you take a moment and look around, just kind of gesture to Elizabeth that it's out that way, in that's the direction they went, and they went at some level of speed. Elizabeth, you get up there, take a moment to look, and as you're about to sort of transform and go, there's a ringing of your phone.
Okay, go to the phone. What is happening?
Just what do you mean? What is happening?
Your
phone is ringing.
Yes.
Someone is calling you.
Yeah. Number on the phone. Is it some
It
recognized
is
number?
an unidentified number.
Pick up the phone.
As you press the connection to it, it turns out it's a video call. You see the following face.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Miss Elizabeth, I trust I've not
Yes.
caught you at a inconvenient hour.
Not particularly. I was about to go on a run, but
I'm just looking to see if our business interests are still in line and if my club will be open within the next few days. I understand you've been sourcing a location for the new site of Asylum.
indeed we have. It's
Outstanding. Do I need to look over anything? Do I need any levels of paperwork transferring to myself?
just a
Because
general.
I feel like I've been somewhat uninvolved in the creation and otherwise wording of my own club.
Absolutely. Just a general look over of the premises we've chosen. Any stamps you would like to put on yourself, your own ideas
Well,
and
I
stuff?
would appreciate that stuff sent to me immediately, if possible.
Absolutely. I will get that emailed over to you as soon as possible.
I would assume that was in the next hour? Next
yes.
15 minutes, maybe.
Yep.
I understand. Thank you, Miss Elizabeth. We look forward to continue to do further dealings with you.
You're most welcome.
Right. Good night.
And
And the phone goes down.
with that, very quickly, email off all the deets.
All of the details are on a computer, not on your phone. Because
Yeah.
that would be really stupid.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
Go to save
Was I close
computer.
enough to hear that?
You were close enough to see the picture, And you were close enough to hear a good portion of the conversation, yes. You were not close enough to see what the name was.
Yep, that's fine.
I'll be back in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Elizabeth turns and promptly, with soon-to-be wolf tail between legs, comes running inside.
Straight to computer.
So, as you are, Sally, you basically start ticky-tapping away, start sending off various different files, bits of land deed, bits of otherwise. You go to basically stop and put your computer away, and there's a pinging from your computer. As it would appear that she's there on the other end, basically waiting. She's not delaying this. She sends a few basically design ideas to you. Specifically,
Yep.
and that.
The VIP.
I want to go there.
I will be honest, she does make these very clear that these are not suggestions, these are requirements.
Oh, absolutely.
Even a area that is more VIP, more private than VIP.
Yep.
She requests your immediate attention on these and to vet them. In short, the rest of this day, she's not letting go until that asylum's ready.
Well, that looks like Elizabeth is busy all night then.
You're stood out there for the longest portion, Diamond. Elizabeth doesn't come back out.
15 minutes, 20 minutes. She's not coming back, is she?
Does not appear she is coming back, no. So, what do you do?
No, I don't really have. I don't really know what I'm looking for, so I guess I'm gonna go inside and be like, "What can I do to help?"
You come back inside, back upstairs. There is a gentleman who kind of walks up to you as you're going in. Looks like he's dressed in sort of a chef's outfit and provides a glass with a hefty-looking red liquid in it. Madam, I've been told to provide you with refreshments.
Is he human?
He does looks human. That might not be the case.
Fair enough. I'm just gonna eye his neck and then sniff the drink.
The drink smells quite. It's definitely coppery. It's blood, but there's a slight tinge and smell you can't quite place on it.
Can I go into Auspex and enhance my senses?
Okay, you bring your sense of smell entirely to the forefront on it. You can smell the sweat on his neck. You can smell that he himself seems to have some level of sort of sweet smell about him. The blood itself, however, does smell very much of a sort of almost minty.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him what's in it.
It is just blood, ma'am. It's a special concoction of my own. The prince had me experimenting with flavorings to various different blood types, mostly to break up the monotony of the self-same taste over and over again. As he is not around, I've still continued my work. However, this is my latest attempt at a creation.
I'm gonna try a little sip.
You get the overcurrent of blood. There is a hint of lamb and mint underneath it. Like somebody has had a excessive amount of lamb, basically like lamb steaks or something, and then you've drank the blood from that person.
I'm gonna say thank you and then go and find somebody else and see what they think.
Okay. He bows ever so slightly and then retreats back off down his corridor from what looks like heading towards the kitchen. You head back upstairs. Alyssa, Oscar, you have seen Elizabeth come like bolting past you. Doesn't even give a response if you acknowledge she's just gone. A few moments later, well, about 20 minutes later, Diamond comes up holding a glass of blood, looking rather confused at it.
I take it the search has ended abruptly?
Yes, rather.
Everything went weird there.
Yeah, you broke up a little on that one. Say again.
Yes, it was rather. I ended up on my own.
And why is that? Where was the gangrel?
She said she had to deal with business and was gone. Said she'd be back and didn't.
Her personal business is more important than the safety of the prince of this domain. How illuminating.
No, don't jump to conclusions.
Am I wrong, Miss Alyssa?
You might very well be. We don't know what business it is that she has to deal with, but if it is pressing enough that she's had to stop what she was doing and race upstairs without even so much as a word to us, then I'm going to imagine it's quite pressing.
Alyssa, how much of that do you actually believe, and how much of it is you trying to put on a good face to Oscar?
No, I fully believe. I know Elizabeth quite well. I know that Elizabeth doesn't just randomly stop doing something, especially when she's been spending the entire week out hunting for Nix and Arlo. She wouldn't just stop doing that unless it was something pressing.
Then here's my next question. Doesn't the fact that you're not being informed as the security to this grounds make you a little, I don't know, angry?
No, I trust Elizabeth.
Okay. I shall
make a note.
Make a note. Not that I'm ripping Jason Carl off, but by the gods, rip off the best if you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, I've been making notes too.
Yeah,
good.
Same.
Well, if that's the case, I will travel with you, Diamond, and we should have a look at this location that you spoke of. I do care about the prince's safety of this domain. It is my truest concern that he is brought back safe and sound. And also, Lady Nix is quite dear to my intents as well.
A quick question.
Yes. Me or them?
Them.
Carry on.
Yes, Diamond.
I lift the glass and look at it. What's the deal with funny flavoured blood?
Oh yes, that's Paul's creation.
Paul?
Yes, the chef. Specifically Arlo's chef.
Okay.
I don't drink blood that's not of my own followers.
I see.
So it's safe, it's just...
Oh, it's completely safe. It's just blood from one of the house staff who happens to have been eating specifically something for about a week. It flavours the blood.
If you bring it here, I'll have a look and tell you if there's anything wrong with it.
I was just... Sure.
I look at the glass of blood with my Auspex eyes. Is there anything weird about it?
There is nothing weird about it. It is definitively human blood. But even though you do not have enhanced sensors up right now, you can get the definite hint of mint.
Doesn't blood lose its power to vampires after a few seconds of being out of the body, unless you've got that merit?
Vitae loses power a few seconds after that. As for standard blood, the potency on that will last as long as you can drink it cold. It just starts to degrade over days.
Right.
I'm gonna drink it now.
You down it? Do you like lamb and mint?
I do.
Then there you go. It's quite delicious.
Right. Lead on, Miss Diamond, and let us go on a adventure, shall we say?
Fair enough. I'll leave the glass somewhere.
Is it in walking distance, or shall I have Maxwell bring the car around?
It's within walking distance. It's still on these grounds.
Of course.
Unless
Okay.
we're going to go further.
Lead on.
So, I'm going to fast forward us all a little bit because what you will find when you're there basically consists of time has passed far too long for anything beyond premonition to be able to tell you what was there at the time. It's basically trodden ground that looks like it's been trodden lots and lots and lots of times. It's in that direction, so that's where the searchers start over the next 2 days to gravitate towards. When we get to the night of what date, Lawkeeper?
June 2nd. Sunday, June 2nd.
Sunday, June the 2nd. You are all at rest, and for rest for you means dead. There is no bodily functions. You do not respire. You don't perspire. You don't respire. You don't respire. Sorry. You do not dream. Well, normally you don't, Alyssa.
Yay!
You've taken some time to, over the last couple of days, sort of gravitate yourself out in the direction of where Diamond has given the information. I would at least say that to save, if nothing else, on money, the Oscar and Diamond have both been provided very luxurious quarters
Oh, of course.
within Eaton Hall.
Yeah.
Literally fit for royalty.
Yeah.
As in, I'm pretty sure one of them is actually the Queen's.
I would probably not stay in Eaton Hall due to my very special thing I have with me that I'm not wanting anyone to get it.
That is entirely fair. In that case, then, Diamond gets the privilege. Oscar's still taking money off the credit card.
It's a good job.
But considering
credit card.
Considering the credit card currently has the bank balance on of the Duke of Winchester, that credit card's not going dry anytime soon.
No.
So, the very first thing you recognize, Alyssa, is that you are within some sort of cave system. That is what you see in front of you, including the lighting.
When it wants to load.
Yes.
Loading.
You may notice that the lighting spirals somewhat.
Oh my.
Oh.
Lovely.
That is what you can currently see.
Is that artificial light or natural light?
I believe the actual thing, if I'm correct, is that is painted on.
Okay.
But in regards to the actual the effect that Alyssa can see, it is superimposed and a supernatural form of light.
Okay.
So yes, that is currently what you can see. You cannot move. You've been in this position before. There is something behind you.
Is it a very familiar presence by any chance? Yeah.
Oh.
What the blue hell?
You can't see it.
No, I
Only
can't.
Alyssa.
So,
It's Aslam.
pretty much. It is nudging you towards, or trying to nudge you forward, but your body is immobile, unable to do anything. A few seconds later, you see at the other end, looking down the corridor at you, a woman, bald, long black trench coat with particularly high heels. She kind of stands there for a moment and just smiles ever so slightly. The range of what happens next is only really showable via picture. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's creepy.
Oh, burn it all.
Am I the only one that went, oh?
Kill it with fire.
No.
Alyssa's already killed one of them.
Well, not really though. How's she? Severely damaged, I won't say killed.
Kill it with something, not fire.
I think fire's the only thing will do it.
Okay.
There is a low rumbling from behind you as the spirit of lion sort of half stands with you. Pulse the wild, spin the weaver, destroy the worm. And then you snap back to consciousness as everyone rolls me a rouse check.
Goddamn werewolf rubbish.
Sorry, what was that, AJ? It was pulse the wild, spin the weaver, destroy the web.
Yeah.
For the worm, was it?
Destroy the worm.
The worm.
Yes.
Yeah, I passed my rouse check.
You do not get hungrier.
Oh, I get hungry.
Yay!
Wait,
How do I do a rouse check?
I get
Pick
hungry.
up your D10.
Just pick up your D10 and roll it into the box.
Oh,
Get
no.
higher than a 6.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
You
no.
get hungrier, Diamond.
This is not good.
Can I drinks from my herd, please?
You can drinks from your herds, yes. So,
Why I have them?
Alyssa, when you come to consciousness, you instinctively just have the feel of the word Alderley Edge.
Yep.
You know where that was, and you take only a few moments to realise that lines up with where Arlo and Nyx had supposedly run to.
Yep.
where's that gone?
Okay. About this point in time, Elizabeth, Diamond, you both awake. You have food provided for you, Diamond. You're offered. You've gotten to know Paul, the chef, a little bit, and you've experimented with some sort of ideas of what you actually prefer in terms of taste and otherwise. You are granted whatever kind of flavors you may wish. In some of the cases, it's almost like foie gras. You're basically having to, if you pick something that's not necessarily on the menu, he effectively has to stuff a person with it for a day. You get pate, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
So, you've managed to reduce your hunger back down to 1, because there is an abundance of food here.
Cool.
At which point in time, after maybe an hour's worth of being awake and Oscar having fed and prepared himself...
When I have to make themselves ready for today.
Indeed. The familiar car of Maxwell draws up at the house. And
Ooh,
indeed.
I also prepare the clinging of the insects before I head out.
Indeed. Now, for those who are not familiar with blood sorcery, despite the fact that at least one of you has blood sorcery, the ritual that is gone through requires a specific kind of insect, unless I'm mistaken, for the clinging.
Yes.
Weird that. But yes, you do actually prepare your ritual to be used as and when. It costs you very little blood. Let's just have a quick look. There it is. Ingredients: a living spider.
I have a box.
That's fair. You crush the spider into your own blood and prepare it.
Nice little vial.
Don't think you need to make a rouse check, so you are fine.
See, it's the only blood sorcery I don't have to make a rouse check for.
Indeed.
Everything else I do.
Right.
And
Okay.
some of them multiple.
That is entirely true, and but they're the really fun ones.
True.
So, you prepared your ritual and you arrive on site as indicated. So, Alyssa, where do they find you?
They will currently find me in what is essentially the armory, basically gathering weapons and things that are going to be useful for our little trek.
Okay.
Are we going hunting, Miss Alyssa?
Yes, I think I might know where they are.
Oh, excellent. Whereabouts?
Alderley Edge.
I see. And who are we expecting to be fighting there?
I don't know.
I see.
Hopefully no one. But, just to be on the safe side, better go prepared.
If I may be so bold to ask, since you no longer seem to have the disadvantages of your clan, do you still have the advantage of being unseen of your clan?
Yes, I can still use my powers.
Then that skill of the Nosferatu may be useful in scouting where we're going.
Well, it will be. But
It definitely has been long enough as well for Oscar to have worked out the fact that while you are a Nosferatu, Alyssa, apparently you are not a stereotypical one, shall we say.
you're right in that my powers could be used for scouting, but we don't have time for me to scout all the way ahead and come all the way back again. We need to go now.
Of course, that's what I mean. But if you go a little bit ahead and come back and tell us everything is fine.
Well, that is the plan. I wasn't going to exactly let everyone just walk in there unprepared and unaware.
Glad to hear, Miss Alyssa. Glad to hear. Please continue.
Well, actually,
Forgive my...
you could do me a favour, Oscar, and you could gather up the rest of the household.
Do you wish for them to be gathered here or in the meeting room of ours?
In the meeting room. I'll finish preparing all of the stuff that we're going to need.
Of course. Give me but 5 minutes. And I go start knocking on doors.
Okay. So you manage to start making your rounds. First one you get to is Elizabeth. Elizabeth, for reference, over the past couple of days, now that the Malkavian is involved, your asylum is ready.
Excellent. We will arrange the grand opening for after we have found Harlow, hopefully.
But it has left you kind of mildly tired and worn out because weirdly dealing with her is tiring and causes people to move her out. Yeah.
Especially when she goes weird and wibbly and starts talking about random things, including unicorns.
The only thing she has been is the picture of business.
I understand.
You do notice every so often she does seem to be getting a headache from the whole thing, and every time she seems to be bringing a migraine on, she will cut communication.
Yep.
But it has been sorted and resolved.
Excellent. With that, I'm going to find whichever staff member's been fed nothing but coffee.
Hold that thought, because as you are basically putting the last checks on this morning, this evening, as you just woken up, gone straight to your laptop and carried on, you've been just dismissed, as in this is now accomplished, thank you for your time, and when you hear a dish, dish, dish from Oscar.
Get up, start brushing my hair, and open the door.
Good evening, Miss Elizabeth. Will you join us in the meeting room post-hastily for a briefing about our upcoming excursion? Regards, Miss Elizabeth. Thank you.
Just let me get a quick meal.
Of course. You've been very busy, Miss Elizabeth, haven't you?
Yes.
Anything I can help with?
No, it's all sorted now, thank you.
Excellent. It's good to have your full attention back on domain business now.
Oh, the previous was domain business as well.
Oh, how so?
You will see in a couple of days, hopefully.
Oh, I look forward to it. Something to look forward to after all this nasty business.
So, Elizabeth goes off to go get some coffee. Oscar, you head next to Diamond's room. You find that it's already vacated. However, coming back up to said room after feeding is Diamond. So you bump into each other or in the main corridor.
Ah, good evening, Miss Diamond. May I request your presence in a meeting?
Yes, I'll be there.
Excellent.
Where?
The meeting room downstairs. Post hastily, if you would be so kind.
I'm just gonna turn around and go back there now.
Thank you kindly.
So the meeting room we directed people to is not the study upstairs, but it is a large, sort of expansive, almost function room. Very simple amounts of tables, a lot of decent tiling as opposed to wallpaper, but that's mostly because nearby to it is a swimming pool.
Ah.
Because royals.
Now I want to go swimming, damn it.
However, it is basically the swimming pool seems to be nicely heated and give off this light. It's not oppressive or steam, but it does have sufficient enough tables for everyone to be around. Do you get anybody else, Oscar?
Everyone who is the coterie that I know.
So, are you waking the werewolf?
Hell no.
Fair play.
There would be nowhere near the beast.
All right then. In that case, as you everyone accumulates downstairs, the current people within the scene are Alyssa, Elizabeth, Diamond, and Oscar. The scene is yours, ladies and gentlemen.
Where's Caleb?
I do not believe we require the werewolf for this part of the business. Do you, Miss Alyssa? This is more kindred business from now, I would say.
No, we most definitely do require Caleb.
If I may be so bold, Miss Alyssa, there is a state of most hostile relations with the lupines amongst our kind. The less they know about our business, the better.
Would you like to say it, or shall I, Alyssa?
Please, go ahead.
So, as far as we are aware, Oscar, there are 4 more Black Spiral Dancer werewolves, or adjacents, out there. We would rather have a werewolf of our own on our own side who is friendly with us than get ambushed by 4 Black Spiral Dancers.
Black Spiral Dancers?
That is what they called themselves.
I see. And how are we keeping the loyalty of this werewolf?
Generally, he's on the run from them as well, and he has just been happy with us, and we've been happy with him.
I see. My apologies, Miss Alyssa. I thought it would best not to include him in this, but I was most wrong. Forgive me. I shall go and summon the lupine.
It's quite alright, I'll go and get him.
Thank you, Miss Alyssa.
Okay, Alyssa leaves the scene. Elizabeth, Oscar, Diamond, you're still within it.
I must admit, it is a very unusual system you have here in Chester.
We're getting used to it ourselves.
Most unusual. But this is why you need the guidance of the Camarilla, to make things more secure for you.
Let's be fair. If you knew, or if any Anarch knew, etc., that wanted to try and take Chester, that the current coterie in charge of Chester had a werewolf security guard on its staff, would you attempt to attack Chester?
There are ways of dealing with lupines.
There are. They're often expensive, and usually the stories, as far as I know, go for as many. Or when you are going for hunting for a werewolf, dig a grave for each member of your party going to hunt the werewolf, and one for the werewolf.
There are ways known to my clan, but you have nothing to fear. I'm pretty sure Prince Decor would always come to your aid if it was needed.
Okay. Let's cut quickly upstairs to Alyssa managing to reach Caleb's door.
Caleb. 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 Caleb.
I swear to Gaia, I'm going to throw a table at you.
Excellent.
You rang loudly, boss.
Come on. I think I know where they are.
Is this a bring an axe job, or is this a I need to go sniffing job?
No. This is bring the axe, because if what Lion showed me last night is correct, we're
There
gonna
is the sudden sound of movement at the second you mentioned Lion was involved.
I knew that would get you moving.
Yeah, maybe next time open with it.
Yeah, well, I like to keep you
The
hanging.
door opens. There is a sort of half-dressed gentleman. Most on the ground, he's kind of like got one hand halfway out of a t-shirt, basically elbow first. Seems to be almost like straight jacketed himself into his own clothing. Carry on.
Do you need a hand? You okay? You good?
Talk.
Okay.
Talk.
Yeah. Lion, dream.
Eventually the hand comes out.
Lion, dream, place. Unfortunately, by the looks of it,
Joining words fit to sentence. Carry on.
If you stop interrupting me, then I can get through this quicker.
It's half the fun.
I swear to God.
Pulls his head entirely out the top of the arm sleeve, realises he's made a mistake, puts it back in.
Goodness. Anyway, by the looks of it, we're going to have to deal with another one of those blinking were spiders.
He stops and now slowly readjusts his clothing. Did you just say we have to
Yep.
deal with an...
Yep.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, I did. Do you happen to know of a woman with a bald head? Does that description ring any bells? Wears all black heels?
I've not seen The Matrix in a while.
Ha 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 ha, funny.
I'm barely kidding here, if I'm honest with you. No, doesn't ring any bells, if I'm honest with you. But if they're working with the spirals, then could be anything. To be honest with you, I was actually kind of surprised that the last one was a spider. I've never seen a black spiral of a different breed.
Well, these definitely looked like spiders to me, so spiders they are.
That's fair. That might mean they're not spirals, though.
I didn't say they were spirals, I just said we're spiders.
Well, you said another one just like the... Never mind.
Anyway. We're going to have to go. We're going to need that axe of yours. Because if it is the same, then we know that's the only thing that's going to, do the business. Because we haven't exactly had time to make anything to deal with it.
He basically reaches round the side of the door frame that you can't see and pulls the woodsman's axe up and over his shoulder.
Just under my breath, I just go, oh, I missed you.
He chuckles and just passes it over. You know what? You can have it, you small little thing made of paper, you.
I'm hardly made of... Never mind. Right, are you dressed? Can we go?
I mean, as dressed as I'm going to be until we hit the point where I don't need to be dressed.
Marvellous. Let's go. Everyone else is downstairs. The vampire didn't want to... Sorry, Oscar didn't want to come and get you. He's scared of you.
He looks at you for a moment. Wow. Turning native. Go on, okay. He starts walking out with you. The camera kind of lingers on the door for a few moments. He then slowly walks back in, picks his shoes up, and slowly walks out. Scene cuts back to the meeting room.
So, Oscar,
Yes?
Yep.
what exactly is it that's the problem with Blue Pines?
Well, our kind of a war with blue pines since we first discovered them. We don't exist well together. They see us as being dead creatures, affronted to nature, and, well, we just don't like being torn apart by them.
And in our defense, you smell funny. You hear from down the corridor.
Well, to them, we are walking corpses that should not exist.
A few moments later, as it doesn't take that long to get downstairs, Alyssa leads in, and Caleb kind of strolls in afterwards. To everyone else, you can see the fact that Alyssa is holding the woodsman's axe.
Have we had an upgrade there, Miss Alyssa?
Quite.
She seems to get the impression that the person holding the big, scary silver axe is the one basically controlling the puppies. I'm not disagreeing with it. It's a big, scary silver axe.
I never said anything about controlling the puppies.
There are
I mean,
puppies.
I was literally just trying to bail you out, Alyssa, but never mind. Carry on.
You don't need to bail me out of anything.
Well,
There are puppies.
Well,
So
anyway.
I believe you said the black spiral dancers. There's 4 of them out there somewhere.
you hear a very low bass growl come from almost unconsciously from the chest of Caleb, as he just shakes his head. Yeah, they're out there somewhere.
Is that what the axe is for?
That's definitely part of what the axe is for. Yes.
And the other part?
Chopping down a tree so I can beat them with it.
I see.
Right. Just a quick moment. At that point in time, there is a knock at the door.
Let's see. Everyone is here. Oh no, wait. We are missing someone. That I'm assuming is Jen.
Oh, it could be the
Hopefully.
Prince and Lady Nyx returning.
I highly doubt it. They would just walk in.
It would be immensely easier on us, though, says Caleb.
Really would.
I find myself agreeing with the lupine. What has the world become?
You just see a slow nodding in the background. Tell me about it. It's one of those years.
Indeed.
At the door, after the servant opens it, is Jen. Welcome to being just randomly dropped in there, Gwen.
Sorry I'm late. Fuck have I missed? What's going on?
Go on then, tell her.
Evening, all, by the way. Hi.
Good
Um,
evening again.
evening. So, do you want to cover it, Alyssa?
I think I might know where our 2 very pretty coterie members are, and we're just getting ready to go out and hunt for them. Would you like to come?
Is it somewhere hideous and probably deadly?
Possibly yes.
Cool. Sounds like Tuesday.
Over her
I'm in.
shoulder, all you see is just Caleb nodding furiously.
I'm just gonna sit there and guard. Oh.
What is it? Caleb points at Diamond, then points at Jen. That's the sassy blonde one I was on about before.
Aww. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Could we
Who
please keep
who
this
are you?
professional, please?
I have to agree with Oscar on this one. Let's get to...
Sorry. I know that we don't know each other very well, but this is me being professional.
This worries me
Fantastic.
somewhat.
Just for reference, Jen, just to give you some ideas on this. Diamond, you don't know. You have now actually been out of... Obviously, you haven't, but your character has been introduced to Caleb, who is the current werewolf of the party.
We have those?
Yeah, you do.
Cool.
You guys have been out looking for Arlo and Nyx for at least 1 or 2 of the days until basically you both pissed each other off enough that you needed 10 minutes away from each other. Also known as Where is the Lie? Also, to add in an additional part to that, we are currently on Fantasy Grounds. So feel free to dive on there. I will put your character sheet on properly later. For the moment, though, what we're going to basically have to have you do is just roll dice as they accumulate. Okay?
Okay. Will you drop the logins into the chat again?
I can just quickly tell you now. It's Dead Zone Soft Goblin.
Oh gosh, we told the password to all the listeners. We're going to get weird people on the groups. No!
It's... You know what? Let them come. Let them come. I can swap it before next time. It's not live YouTube. We're not on Twitch. It's all fine.
Editing.
The power of editing.
The camera that approves.
I know if the
Camera
camera...
spelling doctors are looking over this as we speak.
If the camera will approve, then we're going to have to cut the editing out.
Masquerade breaches everywhere.
Everywhere.
Guys, someone on the phone next to their name's First Light.
Oh no. Nope.
No. There are no first light here. However, there are some first light in power in certain places. I will not tell you where.
Dun dun dun.
It's not letting me in.
Replace with first light.
Oh dear, no.
Capitals.
No capitals, and the password is Chester, also with no capitals.
Oh dear. Oh. You
Frost Grenade was that? What? Sorry, Frost was Grenade for the party?
Been there, seen that in action. Remind me to tell you about the Malkavian experience I had to deal with at some point.
Oh my.
I don't want to be that guy, but it's still not letting me in.
Okay, just to quickly check. That is Dead Zone Soft Goblin. No spaces before, no spaces after. Spaced out in between each one.
Oh, there we
No
are. Must have
capitals.
misspelled it.
Yeah.
There we go.
And it is Chester, no capital. And Jen is connected.
Yay!
I live.
Well,
You
For a
die-
given value of live.
Yeah, you die, really.
I exist. I continue to shuffle along this mortal coil.
please don't tell me this is what I think it is. Yeah, it is. For fuck's sake.
What the hell is that?
That's what happens when someone
Hell.
frenzies.
It's hell.
Oh my
That's what
God.
that is.
Huh? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, wrong hell. Wrong hell. So, Arlo's testing things.
Although it's rolling dice for the sake of rolling dice, I think.
I'm keeping that one.
God, your first test is going to be so bad.
I think he's trying to spell out help me. So, anyway, everyone groups up, and where is everyone headed?
We have one person taking us there.
I'm assuming Alyssa's the one giving directions, but getting there is by car, running, walking.
Well, considering how many of us there are, it might be feasible to actually take one of the cars out of the garage for a change.
I'll get Maxwell to drive me and one other.
Road trip.
Go get one of the bigger Land Rovers out of the garage, plus a driver.
Kind of what I was thinking.
And the second Oscar says, and one other, you see Caleb's hand half go up, and then he just goes, nah, that's for later. That trolling's for later.
Miss Diamond, would you like to join me in my car?
Sure.
Thank you.
So, Oscar and Diamond are going off in one car, and in car two, which is going to be basically a Rover, you say?
Yep.
Yep.
You've got Alyssa, Elizabeth. Are you taking Caleb in the car, or are you going to let Caleb run? Because Caleb's probably quite fast.
It's up to Caleb what he chooses, but I am just going to Google the place that Alyssa has stated that she believes they're at and set a sat nav.
I was just about to give you the directions because I have it.
So much technology. So much technology.
I mean, I don't specifically have
literally in
it.
his coffin.
The Fizz rep doesn't have it. No, sorry, the Fizz rep has it. The character doesn't.
Yeah, it's easy enough to gather up though as the directions. Jen, you're getting in the car with Alyssa and Elizabeth, yes?
Yeah, sure.
Caleb kind of looks over the situation. I mean, I could get in the car, but if I have to turn into a 9-foot-tall death machine, it might be bad for the car. So I'll roll.
This is why I chose the Rover with the pickup truck back.
Yeah, I can get over places that Rover still isn't going to go. You're going to still need to use roads.
Yeah.
This is true. I mean, I can wolf out myself, but yeah, fair.
Yeah, just let Caleb run.
He takes a moment and just looks at Elizabeth. Are you really trying to make this into a contest? Wolf form versus werewolf.
No, I am not. Absolutely not in a million years.
I was about to say, because she'd have kicked my ass any day of the week. He turns into a werewolf and goes.
Puppies, quiet.
You hear this half howl. It sounds kind of laughing.
Well, that's not
let's just
ominous at all, is it?
Just get right.
Just
Get in the
drive.
car, Caleb. You do you.
He's already
Just
gone.
follow us. Where he's gone, he doesn't even know where he's going. It doesn't matter.
You said Alderley Edge. He
I
knows
did.
exactly where that is.
Excellent. Right, everyone, get in the cars.
I tell Maxwell to follow their
Yes,
car.
Mum.
Okay. Who is driving the Rover?
I did say get a driver with it, because we're not stupid.
Not that I heard.
Yeah, she did. Amy did say get a driver. I have it on record.
Yeah, I heard.
Then you have a driver by the name of Jameson.
Marvelous.
He's a... In fact, actually, Nix would know him very well.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! Oh.
I understand. I understand.
Basically, when I look at Jameson, I just shake my head because I know exactly what that is.
He's definitely human because there is a blush to the face.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go up to him and I'm just gonna go. There's security cameras, you know.
I know, she wouldn't let me turn them off.
What?
She is rather persuasive, isn't she?
Oh my god.
Am I hearing this conversation?
No, you're in a different car.
Damn.
We're in a more refined and polite car with lots of space since there's only two of us.
So, Jameson starts the car off and starts heading down. You've got maybe... I will give you guys till, shall we say, 9 o'clock worth of car banter. Between the first car, I'll do some splitting up of it. So, scene, car 1, the Rover, as you're driving. Any discussions, plans, or otherwise?
Who's in the car one again? It's me, Elizabeth, and...
Jen.
Excellent. The people I trust.
Wow!
Okay, now
Right.
that it's just us three in the car and Jameson, except, you know, he doesn't count. Sorry, Jameson.
No offense, Mom.
I care
Headphone-
about you, Jameson.
Headphones, Jameson. Headphones.
Thank you, Miss Jen. I'm glad someone does.
Okay.
He puts some headphones in. You start to hear Britney Spears playing.
Right, listen up, you two. I'm going to tell you exactly what is going on. I couldn't exactly say it in the house because... Oscar.
As this scene is actually happening and she's being very serious and kind of looking at you guys directly on, you just see sort of like the half silhouetted shape of Jameson in the front, kind of bopping backwards and forwards, hands in the air.
I'm now just imagining James whenever he played Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda. So whatever seriousness you get from this conversation, just imagine that slightly in the background and certain shifting dance moves. Carry on.
Okay, so... I had another dream.
Okay.
Another dream?
Yeah, they're a new thing that I seem to be getting with this new me, if you haven't already guessed. Basically, I've been shown where Arlo and Nix are, thanks to Lion. The problem is, well, Elizabeth, you remember the the spiders?
Oh no.
Yeah.
The what now? What?
So, not long ago, Jen, we had a situation with what is to be referred to as a black spiral dancer, which are lupines that have basically said "fuck you" to their ancestral totems.
The spirit totems.
Yeah, and they are nasty fuckers. We ran into one, and it was only because I use this axe that we're not all currently dead. Although, in saying that, somebody did nearly die. It looks like we're going to have to deal with another one of these beings. Damn it, AJ, stop ruining the seriousness of this conversation with your pictures. Yeet.
My immersion is broken.
Yeet.
Never.
So what you're saying is, it would have been really wise to know about this 2 or so days ago when I was sorting other things online and could have eBayed a ton of silver nitrate and put it into smoke grenades.
Yes, quite possibly, Elizabeth. However,
You can get
I
silver
can't
nitrate on eBay?
you can get silver
You can
nitrate
get
on
anything
Amazon.
on the internet. You can get anything on the internet.
Yeah. The point is, Elizabeth, is I don't exactly control how, when, why, or what Lion shows me. And Lion decided to show me last night.
I understand, and that is fine. I'm just slightly annoyed that I didn't think to prep a werewolf killing pack at the same time as sorting out the other things I was sorting out with Therese.
Yes, I was going to ask what were you sorting out, but you've mentioned Therese. I don't need to ask anything else.
Good.
There is one other thing.
Okay.
Lion did say something, as you know, Lion tends to be very cryptic by the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
Pulse the wild, spin the weaver, destroy the worm.
Okay. Pulse the wild, spin the weaver, destroy the worm.
Obviously, that's given me some slight warning bells, but I kind of gathered that part of this might be to destroy the worm.
Wait a minute. Didn't Caleb say we are creatures of the worm?
Yep.
Oh dear. I kind of don't want to be destroyed right now.
Yeah, well, I don't exactly want to destroy you, and by that remark, I'm not entirely sure if I class as the worm. I guess I still do.
Right now, let's focus on the big picture. Let's get Arlo and Nyx back.
And on that subject, we move to car 2.
So, Mr. Diamond, do you find this car comfortable enough?
That comfortable? She's apparently fallen asleep. You there, Hell?
Don't leave me on my own.
I'm wondering if we've had another issue with communications. There's definitely sound coming from there.
Yes, I can see her lighting up on Discord.
You haven't accidentally muted yourself, have you?
No, she can't do because the sound. Oh, no, she just went for a drink.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
It's our turn to have fun now.
Sorry, I thought I timed that well. They were doing other things. And...
You did actually time it quite
timed
well.
it well, but unfortunately, not well enough. Anyway, so car 2.
So, Miss Diamond, do you find this car comfortable enough to ride in?
It's very comfortable, thank you.
Yes, I had this rented. You know, you never owning cars can be so taxing, dealing with all the documents and making sure they're not traced. Now,
Waitress?
yes, if I may be so bold, Miss Diamond, may I ask you a question?
Hold on a second. Before this goes any further, I literally just need to have this out the entire time because the sass level is so strong in here. Please continue.
So, Miss Diamond, if I may be so bold, may I ask, what is your business here in this lovely domain? And believe me, let us be frank and honest with one another.
Are you done?
Well, yes.
I wasn't sure, you didn't let me answer before, so I wasn't sure if you were going to carry on or stop.
My apologies.
I guess my business here is surviving.
A noble cause. and one that is best done in the Camarilla.
I'm not very good at following rules.
But to survive, one must have
My own
rules.
rules.
Well, yes, this is true, but people following their own rules is why we're being hunted by the humans right now.
Yeah, there's a difference between following rules that have been set out for you and following rules that allow you to survive.
It is interesting. The Camarilla has almost existed for 1,000 of years, and now when the Anaks start getting up and powerful, all of a sudden all the humans in the world are now hunting us. A coincidence? I do not think so.
From what I know, humans are always hunting something.
The Camarilla were the mist in front of their eyes, though. The masquerade was why they didn't think we existed. And now the Anaks with their TVs, their phones, their Amazons, and their Facebook grams, this is now why we have an Inquisition.
Well, I think that's down to technology, not down to the Camarilla.
We're the Camarilla. We have the Camarilla have outlawed such technologies. We now do not use such things anymore to try and keep to the older ways that were secret.
So you're basically going to let the humans' technology overpower you, and you won't know it's coming because none of you use it.
It is used in a controlled manner by the chosen few that are allowed to use it. Every neonate suddenly picked up a mobile phone and started selfieing everything. Well, you know what would happen.
Yes. Except it doesn't always work that way.
You are your own person, Miss Diamond, and you are free to make your own choices. I just wish for Kindred to make the right choice for their future sakes.
I agree with that, which is why I'm always happy to keep an open mind.
That's all one could ever ask for. What the hell's going on?
Discord.
May I ask you?
Yes. Oh. Oh God.
Anyway, back in the room.
Quite. Yes, Miss Dam, you may ask me any questions. I will do my best to answer them as best as I can.
Well, I'd like to ask you the same question. What is your business here? Or did you turn up merely on the chance that the Prince Regent would have a problem?
I'm here to make sure the camera's needs and seen and make sure there's no messes that need cleaning up.
And you arrived at the point there was an issue.
I arrived before any issue happened. I spoke to the prince. I was given permission to stay in his domain, and I was about to set up my own little spot of luxury here in this lovely city. And now it seems to be trouble happening already.
So you arrived, spoke to the prince, and then he disappeared.
Yes, I wanted to speak to Lady Nyx quite urgently, in fact, but I had business I must attend to and had to leave Elysium before anything happened. Before this contact as well.
So you're just here to make sure everything's going right, but it's not.
Yeah, so I'm here to make sure that things get put right.
And after the prince is found?
Hopefully we can have stability again in this domain. Now, Miss Diamond, what do you think about lupines and us existing with them?
I don't know much about them.
Let me tell you this quite honestly. That one lupine could destroy all of us with quite an ease.
Then it sounds like he's a good person to have on our side.
Lupines will never be on our side. This one is perhaps just dealing with these spiral dancers, then it will deal with us, more likely.
The same could be said of many people.
So they're pulling up now.
Thank you, Maxwell. We shall continue this conversation another time, Miss Diamond, but thank you for a pleasant and illuminating car journey.
You're welcome.
Do you require any weapons before we get out?
I can't use any weapons.
Quite all right. Just thought I'd ask.
It's gonna be fun.
Alderley Edge. Alderley Edge is a village within the bounds of Cheshire. For what people know of it, it's south of Manchester, northwest of Macclesfield. It's at the base of a steep and thickly wooded sandstone escarpment.
Sorry, I've just seen the rest of the things.
Just caught up with most of Discord. Yeah, that's about right. It's known for a lot of expensive housing. People here tend to be more pulled here because they are in what's referred to as Cheshire's Golden Triangle. Large amount of cafes, some designer shops. Tends to have a lot of access to things like actors, multi-millionaires, and some Premier League footballers. It does have a couple of other things to it, up to and including a legend that does take place within Alderley Edge. Quite tied in with druidry, and in some cases the tales of, well, possibly one of the most famous wizards of all time. However, it is the Edge itself where you are pulling up to. Now, within Alderley Edge, there is a vast array worth of copper mines, or what was formerly copper mines. There's not a lot of copper left in them. It is, however, a beautiful place to look over the entire of the village and beyond, from a location known only as Stormy Point. That said, you are almost instinctively drawn, or were instinctively drawn, to a point referred to as Devil's Grave. Now, Devil's Grave, to give you an idea of the kind of things you can see. Hold on. It needs to be nighttime. My apologies.
That would be helpful.
Much better. So, Alderley Edge, for reference, this is the kind of terrain that is currently viewable to you. Vast amounts of woodlands and a selection of caves. However, there is nothing around the area that has indicated that anybody has been here for some time. You do notice, however, one specific red-furred wolf that is kind of just sat down and seemingly looking around, kind of confused. What's everyone doing?
I'm going to walk to Caleb.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to try and walk to the wolf.
Activate Eyes of the Beast while walking towards Caleb, so that I'm not impaired by anything. I can see everything.
So you can get out of the cars.
I get a torch from my boot to the car.
Okay.
Please do not turn that on. I will slap you.
You wow.
You will not slap me, Miss Elizabeth. We are not getting into such pettiness.
And please do not turn the torch on for your own night vision and for the sake of ours.
At this point in time, Elizabeth, just for reference, is looking at you and has two burning red coals for eyes. It's not really that intimidating to a vampire, but to anybody else in the area, it's kind of... there would be a bristling of the spine, effectively. That said... the torch in this situation won't actually affect Eyes of the Beast.
Ah, cool.
Heightened sensors, it might cause a slight issue with, but that's only if you basically stare into the torch. But other than that, it provides light to an area, like a torch would.
Yep.
So, Diamond and Alyssa are both going up to Caleb, who's just sort of like sat there on his flanks, just like looking around, sees you over, sort of snorts a little bit, and then points over at a large portion of a tree.
I'm gonna turn all specs on to look for anything that might
Sensing and seen.
Yeah.
There's something. It's very hard to indicate what it is, but everything seems to be sort of like doubly layered. It's like someone's badly exposed a photograph.
Okay.
There's where you can see like a portion of a branch. There's like another slight overlay of another portion of a branch, but this is much darker and more. It's hard to describe. It's just it feels wrong.
So almost like there are two trees in the same place.
Yeah, like something's overlaying, almost. The thing Caleb's pointing at. Again, imagine the nighttime for me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that well?
Yep.
And the small hovel that comes from it. Closer you get to that well, you see that the hovel itself doesn't end. It seems to go off into a spiral of a set of tunnels that goes downwards, splitting off after 5 feet, one left, one right.
Can I activate blood sense, please? Blood scent.
You can. You let this instinctive sort of sniff out, and there is the slightest hint of Arlo's blood in this area.
Can I pinpoint where?
It's in that tunnel. You don't know which direction he took, though.
Okay.
You do also notice behind that tree is actually Stormy Point, the cliff face itself that goes all the way down.
Yeah. Well, if my nose is correct, I think Arlo and Nyx might be in there.
Your nose.
Yes, I have a
That's
very
where we're
keen sense of smell.
Ah, I see.
If that's the case, then we're going to need to be prepared. I did happen to bring a small set of weapons for us. Can anyone use guns?
I can't use anything apart from maybe my fists.
Fantastic.
I have my own weapons, thank you, Miss Elisa.
Okay, so I'm keeping the weapons to myself by the looks of it.
You see Caleb sort of sit back on his hind legs and reach a paw out as though he's asking for a Glock.
Oh.
Can he use a gun in that form?
You don't know. Odds are against it. Maybe
You know
he's
what?
just being a trolling little git.
Yeah. Okay then, I'm gonna go back to the
Actually,
car.
Maxwell can use a gun.
You want
Maxwell just steps out and adjusts himself ever so slightly. Could you describe Maxwell for me, please?
Maxwell is probably about 38-year-old male. He's kind of got that build, not like muscly, like he goes to the gym, but he's built like he's got muscle from doing lots of hard labor, lots of kind of like odd jobs and moving things around. By things probably means people and beating them up. He's in a very good suit. His suit's probably the nice thing about him, but he himself is a bit rough. He's scarred. He's got eyes that show you he's probably known combat, and in fact he's quite calm when he knows everyone else is a vampire. Probably knows he's been around kindred before. Probably a ghoul.
Sounds legit. I have no issue with giving you a ghoul in those regards. Then yes, basically is the kind of person who looks like he's there for security for a man who probably doesn't actually need security. It's just as much about the appearance as it is about the fact that, it's nice to have a ghoul on standby. He holds his hand out for a pistol of some description. I'll take one of those if it's going.
I will hand Maxwell one of the 6 hour P229s and one of the clips.
He takes it, checks the slide, makes sure it looks like it's flowing clean, checks the clip, reapplies, cocks it, safety on, sticks it into a pocket.
Okay.
Jameson just kind of sits in the car. I'll wait on getaway, shall I?
Yeah, that would be best, Jameson. Thank you.
Outstanding.
I'm going to go back to the boot of the car and I'm going to get out my Chitak M2 intervention. I'm going to get out the bag with the 12 blood bags in, and I'm going to strap the sniper rifle to my back, and I'm going to strap my bush knife to my leg.
Before we continue, is anyone using a bladed weapon?
Well, technically me.
You hear a whisper from behind you. I am.
Does that voice sound familiar?
You tell me.
Did I hear? Did I hear that?
No,
No.
it literally was point blank range.
Okay.
However, you do see the familiar hooded figure just sort of decloak.
Well, Phil has a bit of a geekgasm, so it's... And then... Well, I'm only going to do it for one person, so who is the person who's more likely going to be using the melee weapon?
The dagger that's pulled out is a long... we're talking like about 6 inches worth of blade. Sort of wavy like Chris. He just applies it, turns it round and points it near to you but not at you. Whatever you're planning on doing.
Indeed. Make sure this doesn't touch you at all. I'm basically going to cast Scorpion's Touch, and then you coat his blade with my poisonous blood.
He looks it over a moment, just seems to take in the sort of the aroma of it, and just smiles that sort of before placing it back into very carefully into a sheath.
Let me just make a rouse check for that. I'm fine.
Okay.
In fact, Jasper should know all about that, knowing all he...
That's why he was grinning.
Interesting.
Say again?
He looks interesting.
Are you saying that out loud, I assume?
Yes.
He kind of looks over slightly in your direction. He does have Nosferatu-style features. Just sort of grins.
I believe he's a friend of Alyssa's. They were talking at the Elysium last.
He inclines his head slightly to Alyssa, but moves closer to Jen, actually. I can't leave you alone for more than a few moments, it seems.
I never asked you to follow me.
No, you didn't.
And yet here you stand, in front of me.
That's because you didn't ask me to follow you.
Mm.
For fuck's sake, Jasper.
I was under orders
We're
to follow
supposed to be
what
a
Godson
team.
says. Yes, and when Godson tells me to go somewhere, I have to do it. It's
And
part of the payment.
And Mr. Jasper, whose orders are you following?
I'm working for a favour for the Baron of Los Angeles.
And who is the Baron of Los Angeles these days?
Yeah, Jasper.
That
He just
sounds
gives you that
interesting.
moment sort of grin. Why, Mr. Havelock, I thought a learned man like yourself would be up to date on such things.
You know, as I understand, Mr. Jasper, how things are in LA, any second there could be a new Baron or a new Prince.
Well, I wouldn't know about that. Shall we go?
Indeed. I make a note.
He
Yeah.
kind of glances back at you a moment. So, who's taking point? Who's going down into this tunnel first?
I request not me.
I will go first. I will also drop into Unseen Passage.
I'll follow
Okay.
up behind Alyssa.
And find on my rouse check.
Excellent. In the moment's time of people heading forward, Jasper is gone.
Ah, Nosferatu.
Try living with him.
Do I really want to see them? No, it's no bother. Let them do their thing.
Caleb just pads up to the entrance. Maxwell's sort of scoots up just in front of you pretty much at all times, Oscar. I'm going to let you play him for this as well, just to save me on additional.
Can I go between Maxwell and Caleb, please?
Yes, that's fine and dandy. You position yourself between what's effectively the large mountain of muscle and the large puppy of muscle.
Yep. That's where I'd like to be.
That's the sandwich.
Oi, oi.
You just see the as he's sort of padding along this. Right. You head into the cave. Now, the cave, as I say, extends down 5 feet before one road turning right and one road turning left. The left one seems to just curve off and to the right. The right one seems to just continue straight, but it gets darker and darker the further you go. Which direction do you choose?
What does Auspex show?
Auspex is, for Sense the Unseen, currently meaning you can see Jasper and meaning you can see Alyssa. What it is not able to tell you is anything new about this area. In fact, this area seems almost too normal down here. Like maybe something is warding it.
Okay.
The fact that I don't need light to see at all and can see forever, what does the tunnel that is going dark look like to me?
It still goes dark.
AJ, can I scent for Arlo, please?
You have a couple more sniffs. It's hard to tell past the entrance, unfortunately. The area is starting to smell dank and almost polluted.
AJ, as a vampire who is naturally knowledgeable at Auspex, does Alyssa look like she's using Auspex, or does she look more like Caleb does when he sniffs?
By your logic, what you would probably hazard a guess is it is either Auspex or maybe even Protean.
Right. Both things not natural to the Nosferatu.
Both are not natural to the Nosferatu, but you do know that with Nosferatu doing as many deals as they do, they are one of the most varied when it comes to discipline use.
This is true.
So what were our options for travel again there, AJ?
There is the trip to the right, which is a long corridor that seems to extend off into actual darkness. So dark that not even Elizabeth's sight is piercing it. And then there is the trip to the left, which seems to lead off to the right and start descending.
Okay, I'm going to suggest left.
Follow on. Follow on.
I mean, to be fair, if I walked ahead, the only person who would see me walking ahead would be Diamond.
Don't forget, we've got a torch.
Yeah, just because you have a torch doesn't mean you can see me.
Oh, that's a good point. We can't see you. I can't,
There's only one person who's got Auspex up, and that's Diamond.
If Oscar wants to have it running,
no, that's too meta.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna point at Diamond and I'm gonna point to the left, indicating we're going left. Hopefully, she'll pass that on.
Okay. I'm just gonna head left, following. I suppose I need to tap Caleb if he's in front of me.
Yeah.
Point to the left. Tap Caleb. Point left.
Caleb sort of nods a little and just starts padding off in that direction. As everyone starts left, there is a sudden pressure change to the right, and stood behind you as you all turn around to look is the following face.
Ooh, I mean,
Hi.
hi.
Let's go that way.
He's wearing a large hood, what looks like something made out of sackcloth. He has his hands in his robes. He just seems to be watching you all for the moment. I would not advise that as the path you take.
Who
But
are
I
you?
fear... Just looks over at you with an ever so slight tilt of his head.
Shh, let me finish.
My name is Taylorsin. And as I was saying, I fear that while I do not advise that as your path, that may be the only path that you are here for. You look for some others, yes?
Yes, Mr. Taliesin. How do you know this?
It is my business to know.
What are you, Mr. Taliesin?
Cursed. Would you roll me a... Well, weird you say edgy. Actually, everyone roll me their insight plus their intelligence, I'd say.
Can we add a cult to that?
You cannot add a cult to that. The only person who would be able to, if they want to replace their insight with a cult, would be Oscar.
I will do that, please.
I don't know how to do anything in this setup.
You know what your stats are, though, right? You've got your character.
Yes.
Right click on the D10 and throw as many dice as it takes. Though save one dice. Roll all the dice you're going to roll, bar one, so I can see what your hunger dice is. Then
Okay.
roll that one hunger dice.
Which two am I using?
You'll be using wits and insight.
I thought it was intelligence.
Sorry, intelligence and insight. My bad.
Oh, good.
I was
That's much better.
I was staring at the word wits when I said it.
I have one success.
I have one.
Why is there no 7 on the dice? I need to roll 7 dice and 1 dice.
An accident.
Yeah, 5. Do a 5 to 1. Yeah,
5, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Also, throw them into the actual box because if you throw them in the box, they appear like that. There you go.
And then 2.
Did you say roll them all except one?
Yep, for your hunger dice.
And
Cool.
then this is my hunger dice. God damn.
So confused.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's all right.
That-
The hunger
that's good
dice
for you.
one isn't bad.
Yeah.
It would only work if there was no other successes and you had a 1 on your actual thing.
Yeah.
If you'd have doubled up on 1s, you'd have been in real trouble. Okay, so can I get a list of successes and
I have
who?
no
got
idea if
crits and
I've done
what?
things right because I accidentally double-clicked on some things.
That's fine. You have rolled intelligence and insight, which we'll go with as the 1 success for this one. What you have is 2 successes, 1 success, 1 success. Basically, in this situation, no 2 successes. You have a 6 and a 10. So that equates to 2 successes. So Diamond has 2. Oscar?
4.
4. Elizabeth?
1.
1. And Alyssa?
1.
This is
Okay.
my bag.
This
And
is not what
Jen.
I asked.
Okay, Diamond. The first thing you notice, due to your heightened Toreador-ness, effectively, is this guy seems really, really, really stern. As in, mechanically stern. He himself is not made of anything that looks like some sort of mechanical device, but you could equate him to a robot. Oscar, you would even go as far as to say that he has been, as far as you can tell, almost completely drained of emotion. But you do not know why. There's some things in his mannerisms, in sort of half of how he's moving, where there's no fire behind his words at all. But the reason why I asked you to roll a cult was because of the one other thing he does have.
Yes.
You do notice across his neck he actually has what looks like 5 fingerprints. Specifically, looks like it's not like what would happen if someone choked someone really hard and left 5 indentations. Although each of those individual fingerprints is black.
At this point, I will then activate Sense the Unseen and look at him.
There is nothing special about him. In fact, bear with me 1 second because he's going to respond to that, as he doesn't like being looked at.
Oh my.
Okay, for the next 30 seconds, I want you to repeatedly activate Sense the Unseen.
Oh wow.
So he sort of looks at you as your eyes kind of take on that glint, and he just sort of steps to the side. You don't notice him leaving. In fact, as far as you're concerned, for that next 30 seconds, time is repeating itself.
Yeah.
When you come to after those 30 seconds, you may have some clues as to what he is.
Cool. Right. I see.
So, am I correct that you are seeking people here? You are seeking people who have come to this cave?
Yes.
If you go that way, there is a good strong chance you will die. The final death.
Are the people we're looking for down that way?
2 have passed through here, not by their own volition. They were caught. The web claims all.
What is the web?
The web is the weave. It is what holds the universe together.
I see.
Their fates were dragging them here. It was not their own decision. Now they are caught within the web.
I see.
That's 30 seconds has now passed. First thoughts, Oscar.
I think he's either dead, and that's why he's cursed. He's some sort of mage that's perhaps had a failed experiment, a failed magic ritual. Oh, he is cursed, and he is literally the Walking Dead.
I'll let you continue with those thoughts.
Yes.
By this point in time, as well, you happen to notice for the rest of the party, Caleb isn't moving. Neither's Maxwell. And for those who can see, neither is Jasper.
I'm gonna poke Caleb.
They appear arrested in time.
Mr. Taliesin, if you could be so kind to release our associates.
When I am done conversing.
Of course, thank you.
I am not addressing people not of this land. I am not addressing lupines, and I am not addressing mortals. I am addressing kindred.
Of course.
Okay. What was your name again?
Taliesin.
Taliesin.
When you said you're cursed.
Make me a cult roll. We're all everyone other than Diamond. How long have you been in the UK?
Couple of years. 3 years.
Everyone
3 years.
other than Diamond, roll me an occult check. If you have been in the UK for at least 10 years.
Just an occult or anything with it?
Let's just make it a simple occult. It's a hard check to get.
I don't
I
have
have
any.
no pips in a cult.
No, me neither.
Yay, I failed.
That's fine.
I cannot roll you an occult. I have no occult. Oscar does the occult.
3 successes.
Okay, 3 successes. So, Taliesin. Regarded as seer to the great kings, last known associated with Merlin.
Mr. Taliesin, are you the Taliesin?
I have always been Taliesin.
And does that mean there was always a Merlin as well?
I am familiar with that name, yes.
My friends, this is a person of great legend we have amongst us now. The seer to the great kings.
Known as a bard to some, apparently. Now just a watcher, a guardian.
Of this area.
Of the Talmahara.
So down there is the web.
And our friends are down there.
If this is the path you choose, I have done all I can to prevent you from it.
And
I
we
will let you be.
We thank
What
you
is
for
the
your
other path?
assistance.
What's the path to the right?
The path to the right is for the Knights of the Red Star. It is not yet time for the path to the right.
So our
So
choices
that's
are
why it is dark even to me.
our choice is to go left or go back the way we came then.
So to find your friends and probably die, or to leave.
Those are your choices. I thought I would offer you them as a matter of respect among kindred.
Thank you for your assistance. But these are our family members, and we will do whatever it takes to at least try and free them.
You will give up your eternal life for them.
I would.
Yes, without question.
Eternal
That
life
moment-
ain't really all that. Eventually, I'm going to die from doing something stupid anyway. Might as well be saving someone.
That's 3. Any additions?
Miss Diamond, you wished it to survive.
I'd like to survive, yes. But I'd also like to help.
I see.
I will not force anyone to go down if they do not wish to. If you wish to leave, by all means, leave. You're under no obligation to be here.
No, I'm not. But I must admit, what kind of Tremere would I be if I didn't seek out the new knowledge that could be down that avenue?
Bear with me 2 seconds as you just said the magic words. Let's see now. If I'm correct in my logic. Yep. You see, at the mention of your clan, this man just turn and look right at you.
Oh no.
Child of Saluot.
Quite.
The one time you see him crack a grin, you do not like that grin. His face returns back to its stony face. Then I leave you to it. I shall be here when the red star rises.
Until then.
at that point in time, there's this cracking sound, and all your compatriots are moving forward again, as though time had stopped.
Wait.
Hold, Maxwell.
Yeah, don't walk
What are you
into.
saying, boss?
But a moment. But a moment.
Of Taliesin, there is no sign.
Onwards then.
We should tell our friends who did not see our friend what to expect and give them the choice that we have been given.
I agree.
Quite.
Yes.
Maxwell, you have no choice. You were still coming.
Maxwell just kind of looks at you for a moment, shrugs.
Caleb, Jasper, if we continue down this path, if we continue on this quest to save Arlo and Nyx, it could very well mean death for some of us, all of us. We don't know, but you are under no obligation to stay. If you wish to leave, then you may go. I'm not holding you here. I won't put your lives in risk if you don't want to be here.
Jasper gives you a moment's look and kind of grins, a big toothy grin. It seems there's something about this place that has a level of energy to it. I'd be very intrigued to learn more. As for
really?
your friends, he glances slightly over at you. Yes, I've felt it before.
Where?
Home.
Do you know what we might find down here then?
I do not. And that's what's making me interested.
Pity.
Caleb kind of just looks back and forth. He sort of lowers his head a little, and you hear the snapping sound as his bones reshape into that of a homid form. His clothes merging out with him. He just kind of looks around. Listen, I get the impression I'm in the wrong kind of company to be, going off into dark, dank corridors, but if we're being fair here, this smells more like my dance than your guys. So...
What can you smell?
Rot. I can smell rot.
That's just us, though, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
It's... What I can smell of you guys, we've established this. You're currently something inhabiting a body. You're all aware of that, right?
Yep.
What's down there is you guys on a warm day in front of a fan, while also on fire.
Can we not talk about fire, please?
That doesn't sound like fun.
It doesn't smell like it either, which basically means worm cairn.
Pulse the wild, spin the weaver, destroy the worm. That what the Art Lion told you, Alyssa?
I'm sorry, what?
What?
At this point in time, once again, a really slow head turn as he just looks dead at Elizabeth. Before just half bringing a palm to the head and slapping.
I'm making
a low sigh from Alyssa. Just.
I'm making another note.
You see Caleb just kind of like half sidestep to the left, then sidestep again, sidestep right up to Oscar. Look, I know that you guys are all used to levels of intrigue and everything else, but could you do us a favor? Send us one over from your side to at least make it interesting. Because ours is broke.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Just friendly.
He just shrugs and then sidesteps very slowly back into place.
Shall we continue then, if everyone is in the opinion of continuing?
Mr. Lissa,
Well, why not? There's every chance that we'll not get out of here and the half this information won't leave again.
Correct.
if we do survive though, Mr. Lissa, we should perhaps have a chat afterwards, yes?
There's many things to talk about. Let's just get out of here first. With
Caleb's
our
already
friends.
halfway around the first corner. Why don't you just talk to Elizabeth? She's likely to tell you everything.
Oh,
Awkward.
I want to try and keep up with Caleb, or at least be near one of the people that I was sandwiched myself between. No, where's my safety gone?
You carry on quickly after Caleb.
We hurry up to the other members of the party waiting to join in.
So, what's the marching order?
I'm still in front.
Other than those you can't see, which is in the case of Jasper, and Alyssa, if she's keeping that up.
Yep.
So, what's the marching order of the visible people?
I'm still trying to stay between Maxwell and Caleb.
Looks like I'm at the back.
I'll go
Yeah.
where I'm put, to be honest.
Elizabeth's somewhere after the first three.
Okay. So, you progress continually to the right, and now this has turned, you realize as you are moving 5 feet more to the right, 5 feet more to the right. This is a spiral. This is just a corkscrew going all the way down. And you're at it for at least a good 5 to 10 minutes. I say 5 to 10 because after a point in time stops being a thing. You're sure you've seen the same wall. In fact, up to a certain point, you're sure you could see the moonlight behind you. Though as you turn around to go and sort of inspect that phenomenon, you carry on for another 2 minutes and then realize that now the spiral's almost infinite up as well as infinite down.
Mm-hmm.
You progress on as a party.
This won't be
Another-
a quick escape then.
It looks kind of like that a quick escape is definitely not on the cards now. You
There's
progress down for what must be another 2 minutes, 3 minutes before it eventually levels out as a cave-like plateau. Basically a plateau floor with a cave roof to it.
I'm just having a quick pee break, so I should be back in a moment.
You know what? That sounds like a great idea. Let's actually take 5 minutes while we're on the ground floor to go to the toilet and get drinks.
Woo!
I'll be right back. I'm going to go for a smoke.
Ooh, I can pause
Okay.
this recording.
So, you come out at the effective plateau. Looks like just a particularly large, open, expansive cave with just a rocky floor. And it seems to carry on for as far as I can see. One thing that is of slight note, first off, let's give you the picture.
It's titled Long Scary Tunnel. That does not
Yeah.
bode well.
Carved into the wall, by the way, as you get to this floor, is the following, and I'm not even kidding here.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so
That-
that
that's
first letter is
interesting.
just naturally part of the rock formation, and someone was having a rave down here. So
Honestly,
Mhm.
aesthetic.
So what? Hang on. Did you just say someone was having a rave down here?
yeah,
Right, okay, there's only one person I know who would even consider having a rave down here. Bear with me 1 second.
and it's all
God. Nope.
No.
Behold, welcome to Rave and Loft.
Oh god.
I don't understand.
Where did you even get that?
Right.
Oh, no,
Strahd
it's
Vonzorovich's Twitter.
Strahd. Strahd. The fucking rave kindred. Fantastic.
It's trance.
Strahd.
Yeah, it's trans. N trans. Anyway,
Anyway.
you heading down the corridor now? You've basically got nowhere to go other than back up or straight ahead.
Yeah.
You can start to hear the sounds of sort of weird clicking and what sounds like the drip, drip, drip of moisture. But nothing else.
Alyssa is going to turn and look at Diamond and basically hold her hand out as if to motion stop.
Okay, I'm going to do the same and stop. And probably put one hand on Caleb because he's in front of me.
Since I can also see, I shall stop.
Everyone else stops other than Jasper, who just carries.
It's fine. Jasper's not visible, so it's fine. Yeah.
Can we tell that Jasper has just continued walking?
Nope. Apart from
Diamond and Oscar can.
I'm not about to shout, so...
Yeah, it's fine. He's an unseen passage anyway.
I won't say anything either.
So,
Hang here.
after a certain point, you see him just stop and kind of half stand up straight for looking back over at the group. You can almost hear, carried on the wind, the sigh before he turns back and just ducks ever so slightly more and starts crawling on the ground.
I'm so glad I can see this.
I'm just kind of like giving him a really weird look now, like, what?
He gets to a certain point and then stands again before looking back and making one hand motion forward.
I believe Jasper wants us to follow him.
On the floor?
Yes.
I mean, when he did this, he was at least like 15 feet ahead of you, 20 feet ahead of you.
But must be some sort of trap.
Good to know.
Or he just wants us to look like idiots.
Gonna get my knees dirty.
I like this suit.
So who's getting closer?
Me.
Yep.
I'm still sticking between Caleb and Maxwell, so it depends on what they're doing.
Well, Caleb, seeing everyone else stop, has actually stopped and is basically waiting for the people who can see better to actually do it. However, he is sort of looking around, not panicked, just alert. Like he's waiting for something. Alyssa, as you're heading forward, I would like you to make me a alertness plus wit.
Alertness. Where is alertness? Why can I not see alertness?
I think it's awareness.
Awareness and wits.
Sorry, give me a sec. Boop, boop, boop. There you go. Carry on.
Awareness and wits, yeah. This isn't going well, this isn't going well. This went 2 successes.
Okay, which one of them were the blood dice?
The last 2.
Okay. So, as you get closer, you're about to just basically walk right up to it. You're not quite sure at the point in time at which he ducked because you didn't see it. Stop. As directly in front of your face, maybe a half inch away from your nose, is the spider web. It's near invisible at a distance. You see the point in time where as you look down where the spiderweb basically leaves a portion to crawl under, but the majority of it basically seems to fill this cavern.
Fucking spiders.
I'm going to bend down and I'm going to crawl through it as carefully as possible.
I'm gonna sort of guess that we should probably try and get to where Alyssa stopped. So if would like to try and get there before I lose track of where she stopped.
Yep.
Caleb moves up and
preferably
kind of
tell Caleb to come with me.
Yeah, he comes up with you, gets to roughly about the right point, looks, goes, right. A few more moments, you see sort of Jasper weaving in and out of what seem to be more of these near invisible tripwires. So, Alyssa, are you taking point for all of this?
Yep.
Right, I'm going to need another 2 awareness and wits rolls. And provided you're moving slow enough for everyone to follow you, they don't need to make them.
Okay. So that was my wits and awareness. This is my blood die. Don't fuck me.
Oh, but it did.
Sorry.
It did.
Can I use a willpower?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Can I reroll both of them? Or just one of them?
Yep. Can re-roll up to your stamina, I believe.
That's great. I'm just gonna reroll the. Actually, no. If I'm rerolling, I might as well reroll all 3 that are not good.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah. Okay.
You almost go careering headline into almost a column of web.
Yep.
But at the very last second, you kind of like pull back your unconscious breath, despite the fact you do not breathe, coming out and just wavering it ever so slightly, but not enough to basically push, as it were. You again weave in and around without too much issue. Is everyone maintaining the correct distance of following, or is anyone going to try to do something else special?
No, stick to the one that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Caleb is following Alyssa and I'm following Caleb.
Mm-hmm. Apologies, large bite of ice cream.
Nom nom nom.
It's a cornetto.
Ah.
So,
Just remember
one more please, Alyssa, as you sort of half mimic what Jasper's doing for this last bit.
So 1 success.
Three successes. You managed to weasel your way around this one fine. You didn't get a second 10, so it's not an issue.
Yeah.
You can squeeze your way around. You literally almost follow exactly the route that Jasper takes. After a small amount of time, you're all on the other side of what seems to just be a vast amount of heavy-looking webbing. I would say, is anyone studying it even remotely closely?
I don't have time really, do I?
Jasper's moving relatively slowly, and Alyssa's moving slowly after that, so there would be enough time as you're moving around to give it a look.
Give it one silver.
Any powers activated?
I've still got all specs up, but that's it.
Yeah, same.
Heightened sense. So you still got sense and seen up.
That's all I've got.
Okay, you do actually see through sense the unseen what seem to be small spiders moving up and down, but they're near translucent. They're not like they're entirely in this reality.
Okay, good to know.
Do they look like they're aware of us?
They look like if they are aware of you, they don't care.
Right. Make a note of it and walk and carry on.
I'm assuming a mental note right now.
Making a note.
So, well, on the other side of this weird sort of ethereal spider nest, you eventually reach a section where it is basically almost completely dark before. Basically, it's like there's almost like a barrier of darkness that you end up sort of half walking through. And on the other side, once again, apologies to our viewers.
Oh no. Oh no.
Ah, yes, the Wind Watchers.
Oh dear.
Ah, ja.
Oh,
What a-
lovely.
What am I going to see when I open this window?
Giant ass spider.
A very big spider.
It's not
Okay.
a natural spider.
Thank
It's
you.
not natural.
It's also
That's
specifically drawn.
profoundly unpleasant.
Yep. That is at one end of what seems to be an open cavern. For reference, the blood of Arlo is particularly strong in this room. Specifically on the grounds that you can actually see where he's been cocooned up in a corner.
I can't make it go away. I can't make the picture go away.
Right, click the picture.
Would you like me to make the picture go away for you?
Yes.
Understood.
Anyone who is within a few feet of Jet will hear her making this sort of.
AJ,
Oh, I've just seen the gifs.
AJ, you said I could see Arlo cocooned in one corner. Do I have eyes on Nyx?
You have eyes on a second cocoon.
Are they next to each other or are they at a
They
distance?
seem to be cocooned near enough to each other that they are next to each other, yes. There's maybe about a 2-foot difference.
How does
But
Maxwell
they are the only...
tolerate this?
Maxwell is a ghoul who's gonna have to go through a delirium check, actually.
Yeah, this isn't quite normal. It's a bit much than vampires.
There are times when I wish people hadn't reminded me. So Maxwell opens fire.
Oh, God damn
This
it.
is why we don't bring humans.
You just see Maxwell just shriek out as loud as possible. The gun goes up and he just opens fire around the creature. He has complete zero accuracy in this frenzied state. He is suffering from the werewolf version of delirium. He's not even going to remember this thing exists when he's done, but right now he's in panic mode and trying to kill it.
I'll try and turn around and compel him, and I'll just be like, stop.
When you say compel, I assume you mean compel with a capital C.
Yes.
Understood.
Mm.
His mind folds entirely on the grounds that he is linked to you by ghoulish blood. The second you exert dominate, his will just goes under the thumb.
Mm.
I will, however, ask you to roll me a d10 into the box and see if you beat the number I rolled to see who was quicker. Because he may still have fired.
He's going to get to fire. He's just trying to control the scene.
Well, weirdly, you both got 6s, so yes. He does snap off 2 shots. They kind of scoop between things' legs, but its eyes, previously on something else, lock on all of you.
Oh, Jesus.
That's one way to draw attention to ourselves.
Fantastic. Okay.
You hear this snarl as you hear Caleb look at just see Caleb look at you, Oscar, and go, keep him under control, as he explodes out of skin and bone into a 9-foot tall, horrifying wolfman.
Wow.
I say
Horrifying, but let's be perfectly honest here.
Not the most horrifying thing in the room.
Majestic.
Oh, he's kind of cuddly.
He is majestic as Fook, the most majestic of werewolves. Very good boy.
So cuddly.
What a good couple.
Okay, well, that's that.
Elizabeth will pop her party trick at that point. The claws.
Before that happens, before you do, are you continuing to maintain a dominate control? Because otherwise he's taking a second delirium check.
Oh, fine, I'll keep my eye on him.
Okay, he just sort of like locks in on you, doesn't focus on anything else. There is the sound of movement, but no actual visuals other than for Diamond as she sees Jasper soaring leap off towards one side of the cavern, pulling his blade. What's everyone else doing?
I am gonna try. How high up into the cavern is it?
This cavern, you would take the assumption, is maybe 50 feet from floor to ceiling. And if you can, would you like me to re-show you the picture as to how much of that it takes up?
No thanks.
This spider's rough dimensions, you would assume, from the point in time of its fangs to its spinneret, is a straight 50 feet by probably the same again, leg to leg.
Okay. Something tells me it's going to be a bit too big for me to use my power on.
What's your attempted power?
Well, I was going to... Not right now, but I'm debating in my head scenarios, and I have a feeling Lion's Bite's not going to be of much use here because I can't exactly establish a chokehold on a thing that is that big.
No.
Not 100% true. You got to bear in mind here that while you can't basically get your hands around its neck as such.
No.
Mostly on the grounds that spiders don't have necks. It will still have effectively a point you could do that would get the lion's bite on it.
Okay.
But you would be dangling from it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm still in unseen passage, so I'm gonna swiftly, quietly make my way towards it so that I can get in better striking range.
Okay. You start to move yourself quietly off to the right-hand side. Unfortunately, you see one of its eyes following you. Because these things don't use view, they use tremor sense, and literally every footfall you're making is still doing the job.
Fair.
You kind of realize that after about 3 feet of it sort of like tracing you as you move, and kind of get the impression that invisibility is probably not worth it.
Well put.
Silence of Death quieten my footfalls? Oh no, because it's quiet, not the tremors. Never mind, ignore them. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of something else. That's fine. Okay, well in that case, if I'm aware that I can see it, then fuck it, I'm gonna grab the axe and I'm gonna go ham.
Okay, so we'll basically put that as the round of engaging.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, your party trick was what?
Pop fortitude, pop feral weapons. So I'll roll my rouse checks for both.
Okay. Which fortitude power are you firing up?
I am firing up toughness.
I just want to confirm that is actually what you fire up, because I'm not 100% sure, and let's be fair here, you've not read powers before.
Cost one rouse.
Make a rouse check for me, please.
Yep, just done that, failed it.
You gain a point more hungry. You hear in the back of your head a very familiar voice start whispering. You're going to eat it like you ate me.
Oh, you bad person.
He was gone. He was thrown into the void.
He is gone.
Mm-hmm.
But your conscience, the beast, as it were, is very good at mimicking bullshit.
Yes, she is. And the other one is the feral weapons, which is another rouse check.
Mm-hmm. Roll that shit.
Oh, that puts me at 300. That's not good.
Tasty.
So yes, I am going to eat it.
Maybe you should eat one of your friends. I mean, they all look so delicious. That's what you do, isn't it? So, you're going to hunger 3 the fast way.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
As giant bladed claws just come out of your fingers, letting blood slide down them as they start basically piercing through flesh. Your body tightening and hardening up. You move into your combat stance, as it were. Oscar, what are you doing?
I tell Maxwell to knock himself out with Compel, and then I'm going to look at the other people. I'm particularly trying to find Lady and head towards Lady Nyx. Okay.
You literally see Maxwell just go, "Yes, sir," and punch himself in the jaw till he falls over. because dominate.
I'm a Tremere. I'm not very nice to my mortals.
At which point in time you're going to bolt in, heading towards the to you. They just appear to be a pair of cocoons, but to Alyssa, she can tell one of them's Arlo. So you're heading towards the cocoons. You're going to start trying to free Nyx, yeah?
Yeah, basically, corrosive vitae start melting through the webs.
Strong. Okay.
Need to save my fellow Tremere.
I will resolve that when we enter, but basically you are making the intent to head off in that direction. Excellent.
Yes.
Diamond, what are you doing?
Not much.
I was the Vampire the Masquerade, where everyone chooses social stats and combat happens.
I'm probably going to go sit next to Maxwell and just sort of like hope he doesn't wake up, and if he does, I'll do something then. I can't do anything with his gun.
Duty.
Yeah, I'm just gonna Maxwell, because
I mean, you can.
What am I gonna do? Tell the spider that it doesn't want to hurt us? I mean, I could try.
Actually, given presence, there is one thing you could do.
Yeah.
Don't you dare make love that spider.
Get your hands up with that spider. Just remember, it has eyes. You have dread gaze.
That is true. I was looking at those. I just wasn't sure how it would be affected because it's not mortal and it's not.
Well, it would definitely still have an effect on it because it is a creature. But it would not have maybe as much of an effect on it as, say, dealing with a ghoul or a mortal.
I might as well use Dread Gaze then. Gives me something to do.
So, you sort of stoop down, check Maxwell over, pat him a little in the face, shrug, take his gun, stand up, and move into the combat. So,
I do so much with his gun. At least it's not on him.
To quote, multiple things happen at once. So, to start with, we have, I'd probably say those at range would be able to go first. So, well, actually, those not in direct combat would go first. So, Oscar, you get up to the cocoons, bite down on your thumb, and just basically left or right.
Both, so I can do both at the same time. Okay.
You just smear corrosive vitae over the pair of them. That does require a rouse check, I believe.
It doesn't. I probably have to do two just for enough blood to get both of them out.
Yeah.
Where's my D10? There it is. First one. Oh no.
That's a point hungrier.
Second one. Oh, I'm fine.
That was fine.
So hunger 2.
You feel your beast sort of rise a little. And as you kind of look down, you just see, meals to order.
Tremere don't give you blood bond, do they?
Yeah. Delicious.
Hello, Lady Nyx.
But yeah, you basically smear a thumb's worth of blood from bottom to top. And after a few moments, you just see the melting away of the webbing. And what's beneath there is a torpid Arlo and a torpid Nyx.
I give my blood to Nyx.
All right, you basically just... Well, you kind of go to put the thumb in the mouth and then just realize, no, shit!
Another new wound.
Switch thumbs and just drop blood into Nyx's mouth.
I'll give a rouse level amount of blood to try and get her to wake up.
Yes, please. You are a higher generation, so you can wake her up.
And I'm not hungry.
Okay. Nyx, there is a sudden flare in you. You just remember walking into a cave. The next thing you remember, you can see that Tremere from the other night over you, basically pouring blood into your mouth. You're greedily taking it in and starting to bring yourself back to some level of understanding. Then you look left and see the spider.
Oh, I'm gonna scream.
There is a deafening scream throughout the entire of the cavern.
Very helpful.
And it's about at that point in time where the additional people at range come in. So Diamond's at range, Alyssa's going in with the axe, Elizabeth's going in with the axe, going in with the claws. So, Diamond, your move.
Good
You're
game.
going to go with the Dread Gaze. So, what I want you to do... So many pages. There we are. Dread Gaze. Make me a rouse check. You do not get hungry. You basically set yourself into a sort of a position, and in just this almighty roar that seems to drown out the scream, your face sort of contorts into the mask of vampirism. Very almost Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You get on that kind of game face as you stare this thing in the eyes. Would you roll me charisma plus presence? So your charisma of 4 plus your presence of 3. So just roll me 3 other d10. Those are 3 successes.
Don't forget the blood die.
And then another 2, please, which will be your blood dice. One of which is a 10, but there's no additional 10s. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Nice.
Well, now.
Dread Gaze is big and clever.
Give me a second. Because weirdly, the opposing roll is composure and resolve. Neither of which are something that this thing is big on. That's 2 successes out of 5 dice. 3 successes out of 5 dice. So success of by 2. Right. The spider just locks onto you. But you see it sort of start like trying to move away. It's facing you down specifically. It cannot look elsewhere. But there isn't. It's hard to tell on an alien set of features what terror looks like. But this thing looks like it's seen. While it is a 50-foot spider, there must be a 100-foot newspaper somewhere.
Amazing.
100-foot silver newspaper.
So yeah, for the next purposes, any attacks on it where it will not attack anybody for this round, and anyone else will receive a -1 penalty on defending itself against those people.
Game on.
Sweet.
So that's the range out of the way. Then we move into Jasper, Alyssa, Elizabeth, and Caleb.
Bestest boy.
So we will move. We will do Jasper first because he's probably got the speed advantage with the soaring leap. He's going to dive in, and let me just quickly see if I remember what his stats are. Really good with a knife, as I remember.
Yeah.
And other potents.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No bonus against Kindred though, because it's not a Kindred. So that's 5 successes. Potence, just quickly checking. There we go. I at least remember him having prowess. So he's going to add his potence of... I'm going to call it 3, because I've never seen him do more. Potence 3 to damage. So that's 5 successes versus just attempted to parry with 1 dice less. Oh my god, I rolled 10 dice and 4 of them were 2s. 2 of them were 1s. 1's a 4. I've managed to succeed on hitting by 2.
Don't get
Scorpions, yep. So that's fucking hell.
I think that's a level 3 sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. And cannot use poison beverages. Rolls a contest of strength plus blood sorcery, which I'm going to need. You roll the blood sorcery.
Okay,
This is his strength. This is stamina cult.
Where's my dice gone? Ah, there's the dice. Doop. Well, mine was rubbish.
One success.
It's made up for by 4 more successes.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Sorry.
Loud cats allowed.
Hi, cat.
Hi, Kitty.
It's actually my phone telling me to take medication.
Ah.
The cat's actually underneath me being quite quiet.
Ah, good cat.
Send
Please
cat
tell the
to eat the
cat I
spider.
love them.
Jinx, you are receiving love. No, she's too busy sniffing the wires.
So it's non-halved super superficial damage. It is going to take from that one strike alone 2, 5, 8 superficial damage.
Magic, baby.
As you
Magic.
just see this carving, bleeding arc just appear out of nowhere. While it could see Jasper up to a point, no one else could. There's this flash of red, and one of the legs just goes off to one side. He lands somewhere behind it, turns, backhands the knife, and grins. Next, I'd probably say it would be Alyssa, who's faster than Caleb.
Yeah.
So, Alyssa, you're up.
Fucking smash that axe.
Oh dear.
All right. So, do you still have the stats for the axe? Do you remember it?
Let's see, silver axe, no damage to use rage. I think that's the only one I have.
It's a
down.
+2 axe.
+2. Wait a minute.
So it's +2 to your damage, not to hit. You're making a melee plus strength roll.
Yes, melee plus strength and +2. Do you know what? It's gonna go down here, she says. Okay, maybe it's not. I'll write on the paper version. +2. So it's... Yeah, what did we say it was? Melee?
Melee and strength.
Melee and strength.
It's only going to get 8 dice to defend itself with this time.
I mean, to be fair, that's probably enough.
You say that.
Melee. 2.
First 4 dice just came out as 2 5s, a 3, and a 2.
Marvellous. I mean, this is me we're talking about, and, you
That's
know...
a pair of 1s. Oh no, that's 2 7s.
I was like, excuse me, it's a pair of 7s.
Okay, and my next roll was a 5, 2, and a 1 with a 10. So I have 1 success.
Hence
So
2.
I have 2 plus...
So you're beating it by 1. 2, 3 successes.
I have I have 4 successes.
Right.
On
Yeah,
my
4
melee
successes.
and melee and strength, yeah.
So you're beating it by 3. What's your strength?
And my strength is 3.
Beating it by 6.
Yep.
That's 8 aggravated damage.
Wait, what?
It's a
Special.
silver weapon against something that's a silver beast. It's aggravated damage from that thing.
Yikes.
Yep.
Alyssa, you know what else that axe does? Would you like to rage?
I would like to rage. Hit
Hit it again.
it again!
So,
Hit it again!
For Oscar's benefit, for a very brief moment, you literally see from where you are, you kind of look up to see Alyssa come charging in directly at this thing's face.
Ooh.
She's swinging this axe down and causes a massive impact to its sort of like right mandible, comes tearing most of the way away. You then see something you have never seen before, or more specifically, you hear it. Alyssa's heart beats.
Oh. Oh, my.
Just the once, but it does. There's this flare of absolute fury in her eyes, way beyond whatever you could consider as rage. Not with, frenzy even. And then almost in a supernatural way, she strikes again. She's moving fast, about as fast as celerity. through something.
I see.
How many successes?
It was 2 successes.
All right. It's got less dice now.
Oh dear.
1 success. Fuck you, dice. 1 success.
No, fuck you.
So that's 1 success. You have over it.
Yep.
Plus your strength bonus.
Strength.
2.
Plus 2.
Plus 2.
Plus the 4 for rage.
Yep.
10.
In aggravated damage.
Yep.
Bloody hell.
10 out.
18 aggravated damage total in a single turn.
Yeah.
That's like a dead vampire. With
That's a dead anything.
Mm,
Dead most things.
dead most things.
The 2 massive mandibles it has, both have come away, falling to either side. It now just has this horrifying, sort of half shaved away mouth that seems to be screaming in pain. But it is not dead.
Nope.
Just
Um,
terrified and in pain, which is probably very unusual for.
yeah, it was not ready for that. Elizabeth, your
Okay.
turn.
Follow that
I've got-
bitch.
Yeah, I can't follow that high, but I do have 10 dice. So
Go for it.
there's my first 5.
2.
There's my
2
next.
successes.
Oh no, I need to roll 2 and then 2 because.
Yeah, blood dice.
Nope. Wait. When it wants to actually give me this properly, because I've got 10 total, so I need to roll 2 and then 2, then 3 because I'm on.
Under 3.
Yep, that's correct. There we go. So there's the next 2.
Nice.
Uh-oh.
They're not blood dice.
They're not blood dice.
These are the blood dice.
No, but that is a crit. If any one of those were, that would have been.
Yeah.
But that is a lot of crits. By the way, it doesn't get to half the superficial damage because of the feral weapons.
I know, so that's 8 successes,
Mhm.
and it has less dice to defend with. Succeeding by it has 1 success. 2 successes. You have succeeded by 6. What's your strength?
3.
You are succeeded by 9. You do 9
Superficial damage.
9 superficial damage. It does not get the chance to half it.
Yep.
So you come in, rip one, basically grab a hold of one of its legs and just start ripping wildly at the tendons before snapping it and throwing it off to one side. And then comes the furry bullet. As Krynos form, Caleb comes diving in. I do actually have Caleb's Krynos form stats here.
Don't we mean the furry cannonball?
Go Bestus boy.
The furry cannonball.
Bestus boy.
Krynos
Yes,
form,
indeed.
by the way,
Best
for
this man.
reference, grants a +4 strength, +1 dexterity, and +3 stamina.
I want that in my life.
Yeah.
You have an axe.
I don't care. I want the Krynos form.
Keep building rage.
Eventually, I'll just wear out. Clearly.
The day you get Krynos form is the day everyone has to fucking panic. 'Cause then we have a vampire with Krynos form.
I'm sure the camera will love that.
Yeah, the only thing the camera is seeing from that, if we're being perfectly honest here, is oh good, Gehenna's here. Right, just need to make sure I've got because his gifts aren't ready. I need to make sure I've got them done sorted. By raking claws of a stone steel under the hard surface, so they raise the sharpness. All claw attacks do additional 2 dice of damage. That's fine. So that makes the claws into +2s. And desperate strength. Desperate strength is burn a point of willpower. Roll 1 dice for every health level they have remaining. Take a level of ag damage to increase the number of successes by 1. Do you know what? desperate strength can get in the bin for now. So rolling 15 d10 to hit.
Only 15.
Only 15. Well, he basically in Krynos form. He's got all the successes for that for strength, but it's the brawl where it's coming in. And I'm going to be honest with you here. That blew because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 of those weren't successes.
Oh wow! Your rolling's been terrible.
That my rolls have been fucking awful.
Which is lucky for us, to be fair.
Yeah.
So 4 successes to hit versus even less dice now. So he's rolling 5 to defend his ass. Crit fail.
Wow.
3 ones.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh.
Good job.
Okay, so yeah.
And he shrivels like a dead spider.
Okay, it's still not dead
Bloody
because
hell.
it's got regen.
Oh dear.
However, basically, as Caleb basically dives towards where its rough sort of its middle section is, he actually goes claws first and puts himself like puts a hole through it. He comes out the other side, sizzling across his fur, just sort of snarls and takes the pain from it. As you can see, parts of it start to blacken from where the acidic damage is. We move on to the next round. So, Oscar, you will be first.
I am.
Can't attack. Fucking red gaze.
There's not really much I can do, actually.
Wait.
You could wake Arlo up.
Go on then. Actually,
Follow up, you bellend.
fine. Let's give give the prince some blood.
Okay, make me a rouse check.
Hey, I'm
You're
fine.
fine. You got blood for days.
Why have I got so much blood?
Because you're old.
Why can't I hold all this blood?
Yeah. Tremere fluid.
So you basically pop open another portion of your wrist, making sure it's nowhere near the corrosive side. Plant that over Arlo's mouth. Arlo, you get this pulse of life into you. You feel your body just sort of gain most of its strength back. And as you wake up, you can see directly in front of you one of the people in the medical smocks just looking down at you. Eyes bleeding.
They're bleeding?
Yeah, basically there are no eyes there. You know Event Horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need eyes. Two basically vacant holes with blood pouring down cheeks down to your down to their chin. You can see Oscar just sort of like just off to the side feeding you, but this thing is just staring at you straight down. You blink a couple of times and it's gone. Then there's the spider.
Oh fuck! What? What the fuck?
Can I shout down and just be like, get the fuck out of here, please?
You hear what sounds like roaring snarling, Arlo. None of it's vocal because Alyssa currently can't talk.
Your Majesty, should we retire for the evening?
No, that's what got me
Oscar,
into this
perfect
mess in the first place.
The perfect case of prim and proper.
Yes.
Your Majesty, there's a big fucking spider left. Shall we leave for the good?
Yes, I vote that we run away from the big fucking spider. Yes. So, Arlo, Arlo and Nix, you can both interject yourself at this point. What would you two like to do? Ooh.
Right.
I would like-
My naked ass is going to turn around and
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Nyx is just in her underwear.
Yep.
Quite.
Good to see.
I turn and look at the spider, and I'm going to try and angle myself so I'm not looking at any of my friends, if that's at all possible.
So you're going to try and basically make it so you're looking at the spider but not looking at anybody else in your vision. Okay, yeah.
Yep. And I'm going to try and do a daunt on it.
To try and daunt
Because-
the spider.
Fuck off.
It's a...
Fuck off,
No.
spiders. I hate spiders so much. Last time, I managed to make the spiders leave. This time, I want to make the spider leave. Go away, spider. You're
Isn't it-
shit.
Isn't daunt an area effect?
Yep, that's what I'm just looking at now.
Yeah, or a
Maybe
daunt.
Arlo doesn't know that.
Oh, bugger.
Oh, it's the best of things when people don't know their powers. Isn't that right, Amy?
Indeed.
I presumed it was a cone.
Instead
No.
of attracting people, the vampire uses presence to repel. With this power, the user appears threatening and exudes an aura of menace, powerful enough to make most mortals avoid their attention, and even vampires think twice about acting against them. Add the user's presence rating to any intimidation rolls. Attacking the user requires... I mean, it doesn't really affect anyone that badly. You pop Daunt, and everyone in the area gets this sense of unease about Arlo.
Basically, we don't want to fight him.
Yeah, barring Alyssa and Caleb, who are both raging, and care very little for any sort of first-tier presence effect. You do see Maxwell in the corner, so like subconsciously twitch a little. But basically, if Arlo wishes to make any intimidation rolls, he will add his presence to them, and any attempts to attack Arlo require a resolve and composure roll at difficulty 2. You cannot use or at the same time.
Okay. In which case, I would like to try and intimidate the spider.
Wow, this is awesome.
Manipulation and intimidation, please.
Manipulation and intimidation.
Yep.
Okie dokie. Plus presence.
Yes. I'm not gonna lie, if this turns out to like a cavalcade of fucking tens, I'm going to cry.
I've just noticed my intimidation isn't on my sheet.
If it turns out to be a cavalcade of what is it, ones, I'm gonna cry of laughter.
So
2 successes,
2 successes plus blood dice.
3 successes. And that's your full presence, your manipulation, and your intimidation.
At this point, yeah.
Okay, so 3 successes. It is going to attempt to resist that with the following. Okay, 2 of those were 10s. He's already on 5 successes. The spider is just looking at you. It sees what you're trying. It likes what you did there. But there's a reason this motherfucker is on the actual thing for phobias, and there's a reason you're not.
Oh, that's so mean.
In fact, if it had the legs left to do it, it probably would be patting its chest as in, come get some.
Come at me, bro.
But it doesn't. And that's because
It
my
does not.
coterie is great.
Yes, that's because your coterie is basically pulling the legs off of a goddamn spider. Nix, what are you doing?
Yeah, considering, yeah, Nick's just gonna fucking run in the other direction.
Nix turns to the right and runs. Not stopping, not collecting 200.
I mean, don't get me wrong. She eyes the human on the ground and thinks about it for half a second, but she doesn't.
I mean, you are quite hungry. Not going to lie about that.
Incredibly hungry.
Do not like 200 pounds.
You can almost hear the Benny Hill theme coming out of her. I would like you to roll me a athletics. and dexterity, please. As the ground is littered in bullshit. While not actually littered in treasure chests, it is littered in skulls and general detritus. That is 1 success. That is 2 successes. That is enough. You manage to, not elegantly, not gracefully, but you leap a couple of things and just clear off towards the rough area where Maxwell is.
Perfect.
Diamond. What would you like to do?
So, can I continue doing Dread Gaze, or...?
Yes, Dread Gaze is something that can be continued. I'm actually just going to quickly check now how long Dread Gaze lasts for. 1 turn. In fact, yes, I would insist on you continuing if you wish to continue this effect. So, rouse check first.
Probably do that.
You do hear now a slow creeping feeling of your beast in your ear as the hunger starts to well.
That puts me back on 2.
If we keep this up, we're going to need to eat one of them.
I got
There's
plenty
only
of
so
bread.
much I can do.
Oh no, that poor helpless person lying on the ground.
No,
Hey,
no.
hey,
I like the way you're thinking, boss.
that's my property. Don't you be beating my property.
That's it, kill him.
Charisma and presence, please.
Stick my property.
My property. My domain.
2 successes. And presence 3.
So I'll be... I just...
3. Just 3 normal D10, yeah. Fuck's sake. 5 successes.
Again.
It will attempt to use its dice pool of literally that many dice and gets 3. It fails by 2, and again, as you let this ungodly roar and this piercing gaze, huge burning coals for eyes, staring into the black voids of the spiders, it's being pulled to pieces, but it doesn't care. It's too afraid of you.
Because I'm doing so much standing here roaring at it.
I mean, you are.
Yeah, I'm distracting people smacking it.
The perfect tank, to be honest with you.
You are taunt tanking, and you're doing
taunt.
it really well. Jasper is going to... What would Jasper... I know what Jasper would do. I know what Jasper's going to do.
Something stupid.
Yeah, basically. Jasper takes a moment and looks up. He sees that this spider, to be in that position, is clearly attached to the roof.
Oh no.
Yeah.
He can
So-
throw it leap quite far.
He can indeed. Yep, he does. As I remember, he does have Scorpion's touch as well himself, doesn't he?
I don't actually know, you know. I've only seen him do a career.
I believe he
Give
does
me
have
2
Scorpion
seconds.
touch.
I'm gonna cheat a little. Jasper, LA by night, character sheet. There will be one online because it's a Geek and Sundry thing. Oh, what'd you know? That's Ava's. You don't want Ava down here. That's a really bad idea.
Actually, more Tremors are. Actually, no, she doesn't like camera.
No, she does not. That's why it's a bad idea.
But we don't like her either.
Bear with me 2 seconds. Just need to pull out of conversation for a second.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That means either a Kelly or a James wants him.
Or both.
Not right this moment, I would imagine. There was literally 7 minutes until 11. We're gonna end this with either it's dead or we're still fighting it.
I have no idea how you can live through this.
How we can or how it can?
Oh, it could, because it's pretty much beaten to death.
So it's
It
got to be
has
worth
regen.
Not for long.
Isn't the whole point of silver to get rid of regen?
The whole point of
Melt.
silver is it does aggravated damage in this system.
Yeah, it doesn't half silver, and silver is aggravated. That's the difference.
Lion's bite.
Yeah.
Funky disciplines.
Let's kill a giant spider. It's all good fun.
Nope, I'm running the fuck away.
As Nyx always does.
Hey,
Swear to God,
Nyx
when this is all
did it.
over with, Nyx is getting fucking self-defense training.
One day we'll get my conversation with Nyx. One day.
Not today.
Hello, it's nice to speak to you. Oh, no, she's gone.
No, today.
Perhaps next week.
Perhaps. It's almost like she's avoiding the other.
Almost.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We
It's
lost.
okay. That was the reason I had to pull away. There was a conversation. I basically just gave the okay for Gwen to get going. She's had a rough day.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
okay.
Plus, it does occur to me I completely missed her last turn.
Oh, right.
Oh god.
There's no reason for. That's not the reason she left. The reason she left was just because it's been a very long day, and I kind of strong-armed her into joining in on this one anyway. So
Okay.
Yep.
That's
It's all good.
Shall we
Anyway,
shall we continue whilst we've got the time?
yeah, I'm just trying to work out who's next on it. I'll be honest with you. At this point in time, we're looking at Jasper who's going to dive upon there. I'm going to say it's going to take him till next round to do it, but by then it's not going to matter. Alyssa, one swing of that axe, I can almost guarantee you may have won this because it can't regenerate what you're doing.
Yeah, I know. Swingity swing, yo.
Go for it.
So I need to roll my 3. That is 2 successes plus my blood die, which is another success, so 3 successes.
Okay. And this is... Ooh. It has actually managed to defend itself a little. It kind of brings one of its legs up and just knocks you ever so slightly to the side as you come swinging in for it.
I guess I can't willpower that then. Too late.
Yeah, it's too late now, I'm afraid.
Bollocks!
You just get one of its front sort of not quite its vestigial legs kind of reaches up and just swats you to one side. Doesn't do a lot, just kind of like brings it so you end up doing a sort of like skidding backwards, grabbing onto the ground as you do. But yeah, you it doesn't quite connect, and unfortunately you don't actually have any more rage. So you can't go for the second attack.
Damn it!
Elizabeth, you're up.
Yep. Okay, so 5, then 2, then 3. It's 5,
That's 2 successes.
2,
3 successes.
and then the 3 hunger.
5 successes. It's going to roll its defensive dice for 2 successes. 5 successes. 7, 8, 10 on the last one. In fact, actually more than that because that's 2 10s. So
Oh dear.
4, 5, 6, 7 successes. Same story. Basically, as you're basically diving from one side and get whacked to one side, Elizabeth gets whacked to the other side. We'll now see if the furry... Actually, no, he has to spend this next round regenerating because he basically dove through the center of a spider that is mostly full of ichor.
Yep.
We come back to the top of the round. Oscar, what would you like to do?
I'm going to walk over to my property, aka Maxwell, and and then basically just sit and wait.
Okay, you sort of just quite satisfied with how your extraction of everyone went. You just kind of wander slowly over, turn around, sit down, and pull out a notebook and start making statements.
Pretty much.
Arlo, Nix. This would be roughly where you're in for this. Nix, you're just sat with Maxwell as well, I believe, or hiding in that area.
Yeah. I'll probably be cowering behind Oscar at this point.
Okay. Oscar, you have a half-naked lady cowering behind you.
I offer my blazer.
Like an esteemed gentleman. You are offered a blazer, Nix.
Well, I look at it suspiciously because I don't understand the gesture at first, but then I just slowly take it and kind of thanks.
Hold that thought. Oscar, is it warded against kindred before we go any further?
Do you know how bloody high that ward is? No.
Yeah, I do. I just had this impression of, here, put this on. Okay. Ah!
Before I give it to her, I take a vial of blood out of my inner breast pocket.
Yes, you do. Arlo,
Yep.
as you're stood there in intimidation mode, what do you want to do?
I want to sidle up to where Diamond is and hold out my hand indicating, can I have the gun, please?
The Prince Regent sort of walks over to you, Diamond, and just holds out a hand for the gun.
He could probably have just taken it straight from my hand, so just
Yes, but
straight
it's
to
a formality.
Yeah.
Okay. You pass him the gun?
Yep.
Arlo, you have a pistol.
Okay, I'm just going to turn around and I want to shoot this thing right in the head.
All right. You basically, from where you are, do this huge dramatic over-the-arm pointing.
Yep.
And then unload the better part of a clip. Roll firearms to hit. Firearms and dex.
Yep, firearms and decks. Good. So that. How hungry am I?
At the moment, you're in an indeterminate state of hunger. But let's just say at this point in time, you're riding off of Vampire Vitae. You need food. So I'm going to say don't roll blood dice. But you'll understand why later.
Okay.
Please don't eat me.
That is 2 successes.
Oh, it is 2 successes, yeah. Because the ones don't.
Yeah. Okay, it can't scurry anywhere, so it's going to attempt to just stand there and soak it.
Wow.
It has a lot of ability to soak. 5 successes.
Okay.
Basically, you launch 3 rounds into its head, and you just hear poof, poof, poof. But it doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Well,
That's
bugger.
a very small gun versus a very big spider.
I think you'd have learned from the last time he shot at a spider.
Diamond, you're up again.
I guess I'm just gonna try the same thing again.
He's using the same move over and over, cause it's working.
Pretty much, yeah.
Kinda hoping that this time it doesn't.
Yeah,
I
I'm
actually want
worried
to
about
attack
that.
with this thing. Right. That's 2 successes to start with. Presence of 3 next, I believe. 4 successes. 3 successes to resist. Fuck you, spider.
The answer to a spider, dread gaze.
Also, roll me 1d10 just to see if you get any hungrier.
That's what I was waiting for.
You don't get hungrier. In fact, you've got quite a mastery of it. You've almost got it as like a serpentine thing. You've got your eyes locked onto it now. Anyway, you move your head. Its head has no choice but to move with, for fear of whatever the fuck is about to happen to it.
Because I'm going to do so much.
It's at this point in time, Jasper gets to the top.
Huzzah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. versus the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. Awkward. Basically, he takes the knife, spins it, and slams it into the spinneret, and starts riding it down like it was a sail. So Pirate Jasper now has 1 plus blood sorcery. 4 health levels additional of unbalanced superficial damage. The creature drops from the roof onto its legs, and it's looking horrifyingly woozy. Alyssa? Don't miss her.
Axe to the face.
1 success.
Gonna spend a will.
I'd roll all your dice first.
Yeah, and then spend a willpower regardless. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Yep. So reroll 3 of those. 4 fails.
Really?
2 successes.
Still only 2 successes. That's bullshit. How many willpower do I have?
It only had 1 success.
Oh well,
You
there you go.
hit.
then. Good enough.
That's 1 plus 2 plus your strength.
3.
So 6 aggravated damage. You spin this axe above your head and slam it square between middle eye 1, middle eye 2. There's this shuddering sensation as the entire cavern seems to quake for a moment before it lands face first on the floor as an ooze slowly flows out of its mouth. It shudders once, it shudders twice, and then begins to melt.
I'm gonna move away from that.
Yeah, good plan.
Gonna move away from that.
As the corrupted spirit starts to disintegrate, what is left behind in what is basically a pool of weird watery fluid is a single silver gleaming item.
Oh.
Can I pick it up? Am I close enough to pick it up?
Do you want to see what it is first?
Yeah.
Look before you
Okay.
pick up things.
No, I just like picking up things.
Fuck's sake. Stop this.
Ooh, shiny.
Ooh, shiny.
Okay, it is a sword.
Okay.
Interesting.
It is probably about the same size as, well, your petite frame's sort of chest downwards.
Yeah.
It has some very Celtic knotting and is separated. Basically, the sword itself carries on as a blade and then separates into almost like a prong. Bear with me. There you go.
Fantastic.
Ooh,
Oh.
pretty.
Well, yeah, I'm picking that up, aren't I?
Yeah. And then people read the name of the file.
Yeah.
I read it first. I
saw
knew
it.
it was about to happen.
Yeah.
Don't
Come
pick
on.
it up, for fuck's sake.
No, too late. I've picked it up. I call this the spoils of the boss battle. This is the loot, and I basically
There is
rolled.
a sudden burning heat passes through your hand.
Oh yeah, shit! I forgot about this.
Your fingers wrap around the handle. Beyond your control, you do not want to let go of this thing.
Okay.
The sizzling is almost painful as you black out over this new lake of mess.
Sweet.
And that is where we'll end it for tonight.
Dun dun dun.
Fuck's sake, pick up Excalibur.
Well, you did just kill the Lady of the Lake.
Yep.
The
Sorry, the
spider
widow.
was the lady in the lake.
The Widow.
Widow. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Well, giant
killed the
spider.
Nemu.
Has everyone enjoyed themselves?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
Good. Glad to hear.